miles a minute because I also have Gemini in my 5th house, so I feel like it's like that extra like, oh my gosh, I'm distracted doing 2 things at once. And also manifesting generator ADD is very real for us who have it. But now that we're settled, I do have my books open just for the general housekeeping. $13 for 10 minutes for anyone who would like to book a reading with me while I'm here. But we're chatting in the meantime. I always say, like, drop your comments, whatever you want me to know about you, in the chat, because I'm here to talk with you, not at you. Yeah, exactly. Just the fact that you put AHDH is exactly right. The ADHD is real. Gate 55 is gate of the spirit. So it's like constantly doing this reassessment of like what feels good with us on the inside. Oh, and your moon in Capricorn. Yes, I know. It's like coming for our neck with all of it. I see it, right? It's like makes it like you're like, you can't make this up. Like it's so obvious for us. I hope you're feeling okay. I know my Capricorn moon, Noelle, that I was on with last night, you could hear her, but you won't be able to see her over on YouTube. I'm streaming to the left-hand side here, so all my readings are recorded and over on YouTube as well when you guys book, just so you know. Hi, Jules. And my Capricorn moons have been feeling it for sure. As an Aquarius rising, I have a Capricorn 12th house. Hi, Chrissy, how are you? Okay, so both my cousins just came in at the same time, which is really funny. Also another Aquarius, which is funny because I was thinking about how Maggie, so hi, Mo. Yeah, I love that. Wait, that's hilarious. Hi, how are you? I loved your outfit today. But Batman was also an Aquarius. Manny, hi, Kelly, how are you? Manny, my fiance, is also an Aquarius, and he has the same birthday as Batman, so we love to talk about that at the same time. But I was just thinking of like the whole like Marvel, connection to it, just funny. Hi, Sarah, welcome. But yeah, if you guys want to drop any of your placements in the chat below, you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, like I always say, I'm here to talk with you, not at you. What I was talking to Freedom Guy, who is a part of our usual crew here, who's a manifester in Human Design, and a 6-2, if I'm not mistaken. I have the full moon in Capricorn chart up on my computer here and my little dual monitor set up, but we have at 4:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon was officially full in gate 54. I probably sound like I'm speaking. Okay, yeah, 6-2, there you go. Yeah, I know. I took a nap for an hour before here, and then I came back on. I woke up, Kelly, I woke up, I opened my eyes, opened TikTok, and you were the first person that I got to chat with this morning, which was nice. I loved our conversation. I was like, what's happening? I didn't fall asleep until like 2 o'clock. And then I was also, yeah, Krista, I love that. I'm a manifesting generator, if you couldn't tell also. Hi, Jessica. Yes, exactly. It was just like the energy of the day with all of like our Scorpio placements too. And also Lilith being in Scorpio too. At the same time, yeah, Jules, you're also coming through the future. That's so funny. I hope you can enjoy all of the Korean delicacies. I actually had a friend that I went to school with when I was up in the Bronx, which Jules came to visit me. We had some fun. And I'm just thinking of like the Dr. Seuss like picture that I have, which is so funny. Don't tell me what happens. I know. Oh my gosh, I know. But yeah, my list is open. I'm gonna double check my housekeeping. And thank you for the gracious reminder this morning too, because I was like, oh, I know I'm like very specific about my, hi B, yes. I'm very specific about like how I go about making sure, oh yeah, I've eaten more kimchi and bulgogi than I care to admit. No, that's actually amazing. But like the food quality is so much better. I'm just gonna, yeah, Sarah, thank you. I'm gonna double check it now. Let me get my candles out of the way because I don't know what would be blocking it, but let's see. Stand by. Take its time to load. But before as I'm doing this, since I can look here and pulling up the bookings for today, I was saying how the full moon from a human design perspective is in gate 54 in human design, which is the gate of drive that sits in the root center. So we're like taking stock of like honestly what we can go forward with kind of like blind ambition, but in a good way. It's not like we are moving forward and feeling super scattered, although that can happen just because of, you know, the way that the world is right now. And all of us probably having ADHD in some capacity or feeling a little extra squirrely. There we go, okay. Alrighty, let me see. Hold on. Okay, there we go. It opened up so you guys can go ahead and book. I have like 10 slots available roughly until 9:20, but if there is a lot of you that are here, we can go ahead and open up somewhere like I did last night. I actually ended up being on for like 4 hours last night with Noelle. But gate 54, pivoting midstream, not being afraid to not finish what you start, ironically, but also kind of playing the balance of Capricorn energy where it's like knowing when we kind of have to do a full court press to get things done. Yeah, my biggest flex is I share a birthday with my death date from a past life. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, I love this. Okay, Sarah and Kelly, so you guys are connected. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Aw, thank you. I love that. I can't wait for you to get red. You're like, oh, you share a birthday with Mozart? Yeah, all the places you go. I share a birthday with Dr. Seuss and Bon Jovi, but being a New Jerseyan and after like what we dealt with Dr. Seuss, you know, it's not exactly something to brag about these days. Let me go here. Okay, I'm pulling up my home screen. Yeah, Kelly, I appreciate that. I'll probably hit you up about that, honestly. What I didn't do, which is what I normally do because I was out of my flow, it's like the ADHD, like stack a habit. I had people's charts that I had already put in there. So I have this process when I'm recording where I usually take it off the import screen, and then my video is always supposed to be in front of the like people's like name, their information and all of that. And I realized that because I was out of my routine because the first 3 people were in my chart generator, I like lost my flow in true Mercury retrograde fashion. Oh yeah, Chrissy, I'll see you soon. I love you too. Yeah, I recently found out about the lore behind Dr. Seuss. Wild is the understatement. Yeah, he wears a cat in the hat 24/7. I love that. Hi, Snippet. Thank you for following. Is it 2026 that I'm done with this year? No, basically it'll feel like it's over before we know it. And that wasn't cryptic. I just mean that like it, wait, what is it? It reminds me of the quote, like, don't smile because it's over, cry because it happened. It's like the reverse of how we're feeling right now. Oh, like so much I could say about that too. It's been like insanity in so many ways. As Mo was saying, I needed a nap too. Lewis Carroll too? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were saying like something was wrong with him. Yeah, I love Alice in Wonderland. Like, it's so good. Yeah, Tara, thank you. I'm picking what you're putting down. I appreciate that. Yeah, the tides keep drowning me. I know. And then my Scorpio stellium rebirths me. Yeah, you're like, my swimmies cannot handle like tsunami level waves. Like, when are you going to respect that? Why can't you just understand that I can only handle so much at one time? What is that? There's that meme, like that's enough slices. Like that's what it reminds me of right now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, Sarah, let me bring up your chart. And I have it on just my face, my smiling face here. And I'll make sure that your data is protected too. So, Sarah B. It's funny, I actually have a Libra friend since I'm 11 years old who spells her Sarah sounds at H. There's always so many synchronicities with everyone's birthdays and stuff like that. Okay. Alrighty, so we are going to start with beautiful Sarah. We're here, we're early. It's 7:44. I love that 444. Why not start like while the iron is hot? We'll strike it. So we are 10 minutes in. I will email you so you can see the recording. And let me do this. You're gonna see your chart in a moment. Let's do this. Okay. Perfect. Make my head bigger. As if I needed that. No, I'm just kidding. General reading. Okay, I love this. So while Kelly is 20% of the population, you are a manifesting generator like me that makes up, oh yay, I'm so excited. Thank you, I'm honored. That makes me so happy. Okay, here we go. So this is your human design body graph. So you, like me, are a manifesting generator. My elevator pitch for us is that we are the multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate people who are here to do and accomplish many different things. You will practice saying that 10 times fast in your lifetime once you know more about, being a manifesting generator. So I don't know if I have any fellow man gens, but Orion as well, and myself, we are the 3 man gens in the crew. And so what I am, when I'm looking at a human design body graph, what I am looking at is where you have areas of color versus areas of whiteness in your chart. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Sarah, don't worry. I'm like a teacher at my course, so like I'm gonna break it down. I always like to know like where and how people are finding me because it helps me to make it more digestible for you and not feel overwhelming. So when you are a manifesting generator, when you're looking at your human design body graph, the reason you are a manifesting generator is because you have this sacral chakra or energy center that makes a direct connection, or a motor center that makes a direct connection to your throat chakra. So we say about it, we be about it, right? Say about it, we be about it. We have the energy to generate a lot of energy to manifest the things that we want to do. Projector and manifesting generator combo is an elite combination, if I do say so myself. I was an artist manager and still do a lot of that where I always say I'm like pimping out my projectors respectfully. We can be the talent, but we're really good at getting people like Kelly invitations to be like, you got to check out my girl Kelly, like she's amazing at what she does. It's like very easy for us to get invitations for ourselves, but also, yeah, she will, exactly, but also give them to other people. And so when you're looking at your human design body graph, all of the shapes that you see in front of you are connected to the chakra system. Human design is as if you took your Myers-Briggs personality test and your natal chart and kind of made it one system, but it isn't a study of like your personality per se. It's how your energy flows through the world and thus becomes your personality as a byproduct. So where you have color or areas of definition, I say, are like where you have little shields of armor that protect those chakras from outside influence from other people. Where you have areas of definition are the areas where we are all most susceptible to the human design buzzword is conditioning or influence from other people in the outside world. So like, this is why like when you have, Kelly has this defined and you have it undefined, both of these centers actually. So it's like your 2 puzzle pieces where she helps you click into place about giving you really good motivation. You probably always feel more motivated in her presence. She also helps you with self-worth too. And then also, this is where our mental anxiety comes from. That's why so many of us have it, because 70% of us have these 2 centers. Hi, Chris. Undefined. What it actually is meant to do, right? It's like you're a natural sieve to be a mirror. Yeah, exactly. To reflect back to people. Like this is why it's so easy for you to tell other people how amazing they are, but you're like, okay, I got to speak to myself like that. Probably things that Kelly has told you, 99 times before, but like of course we don't listen to the people that are closest to us always in that way, right? It's so much easier when it's like, I had to practice it myself. And following that. So the reason we have definition or little shields of armor that protect our chakras is because we have channels. And I'm going to show my visual demonstration, very fancy here, for what channels are. So thank you, Orion. In human design, all of those little numbers that are in each of the energy centers are called gates. Those are correlated to the 12 zodiac signs, both in your version of your sidereal chart, I'll say, which is Eastern astrology or traditional astrology, but more so that we focus on in human design is also your natal chart in traditional or Western astrology, I should say. Thank you, Chris. So it's when we have, okay, you have a gate 15 number with a gate 5. that creates a channel. Yes, me too. I'm learning more. That creates a flow that says, hey, we're going to work together to be consistent versions, or I should say consistent energy that is accessible to Sarah as an individual. So what's interesting is the couple that I was looking at right away for you, and you, like me, have your pure manifesting generator completely undefined, that channel. And so we're having an activation with Uranus and Gemini right now. I know I'm throwing a lot of vocabulary at you, but remember, you'll have the recording, you can listen to it. And this is also like, if you can't remember the word, just remember the concept. But basically what's happening is that you're being brought into understanding in your forward awareness, like what actions give you the most bang for your buck and what you actually want to be doing versus what you thought you wanted to be doing. A lot of times based on what other people told you that you should do. You are never going to be somebody, and this should feel relieving, not scary, who has a consistent routine and schedule for your entire life. Like, it is normal to have those bursts of like, I'm getting my life together. Maybe it happens. Like, you could probably track it with gate 5. It's like we have certain consistencies. Kelly, I think you have this one too. Versus gate 15 is gate of extremes. So it's like, I'm structured. Actually, I want to throw out the rules and like be done with them, right? You are a more like obvious version of a manifesting generator if we were to see you in the wild, so to speak. In human design, I know it's a lot of shapes and colors and numbers, but basically if you are looking at these big 3 things, your energy type, your strategy, and your authority, all of these other things are like a domino effect that fall into place. So if we're talking about your strategy, and I'm going to flip, hi Pachia, flip as I'm saying this so I can see you guys. If we're talking about our strategy, because I have this too to respond, when we get up, yes, that's right. Yes, because I'm a Pisces too. I'm a March 2nd Pisces. But when we are basically in this kind of like, expectant waiting and figuring out like, what do we want to do? The best thing I can give you for figuring out like how to refine is to have someone you trust. Like, she will, ask you black or white, A or B, yes or no questions to be, and even if like the answer to the A or B, like, do I want to drink water or seltzer, is still like, I don't feel like any of those. That's still information because it's getting you comfortable, with what is called your sacral response. So like listening to that gut instinct, that sacral chakra that I mentioned at the beginning. And so what happens for you, right, and what you can teach a lot of us and benefit a lot of us in learning through you, is how to wait out what's called your emotional wave. Oh yeah, there you go. Yes, exactly. Like, we don't do open-ended because we're so aware, especially for you. I feel like you have gate 4, which is like, I don't know, but should we do that? It's like the sexy professor energy I was also talking about yesterday. It's a Leo gate placement. Yeah, I can make decisions easily if the options are presented. Exactly, because like since you're intuitive, your cycle time is quicker. There are certain people that I'll meet and I'm like, okay, they have to kind of learn what it means to process their emotions. But because you're self-aware, it could be faster than the average man gen. It just depends, with your solar plexus authority. So basically, in a nutshell, like when we're looking at, okay, A or B, black or white, yes or no, you have projector-like energy in the sense where you want to kind of play on, like, it's very like Lilith and Scorpio energy that we're experiencing right now. Also like Pluto and Scorpio, I have that placement too. Where it's like playing into the, like, I don't know, but I'll get back to you. Like, don't feel like you have to rush to respond to people. There is that balance of like, the busiest people are always the quickest to respond, but it's also like, oh, she has decorum. She waits through her emotions to be like, I would love to do that and I want to say this to you right now, but just give me 24 hours to like look at my schedule and then I'll get back to you, is like a way that you can play into that kind of like, oh, she has boundaries and she cares about what she does. And you can say like, I know I really want to say yes to you. And we can like say yes, but then go back on our word. It's a little bit, the universe has a little bit more grace for us than pure generators, which are another one of the 5 energy types. It's easier for us to pivot midstream. Generators, projectors don't always have that full luxury. It just depends on like where you're at in your experience, I'll say. But I know that this Capricorn full moon was illuminating a lot for you with it, where I see Capricorn, like Capricorn, and there's Capricorn up, and there's Capricorn again. Specifically the full moon and how we're feeling today is right on top of your Mars placement, which is basically like, I know I want to go full speed ahead. And there is a part of you, because your gate of extremes, or that quality of you that's like the pendulum swinging really far in both different directions, is your Jupiter placement. So there is a matter of like, being protected by a lot of sacred luck and abundance in that way for many different reasons, but also like, when you're pushing the threshold of how much is too much dysfunction for you, versus like, okay, I'm actually doing this because like I kind of see where I'm putting my foot in my mouth, versus like, let me put some healthy bumpers on the bowling lane. So like, I know that I can get a strike more often, because you also deserve it. I feel like that also, well, I know just because of Jupiter tied to money for you. I also want to say that there's probably a lot of like, because of your Cap, like self-parentification that you've had to do, which can also make things kind of confusing in terms of like second guessing yourself a lot. And so there's a couple things that I'll say, like, you best. This is called the Human Design experiment for a reason. So you want to allow yourself practicing what it means to even just start, by saying like, ask me that in like an A or B option, or give me just two options, like this or that, yes or no, like, so that can kind of help you to get in tune with what your gut is telling you. And again, as an intuitive person, Aquarius North Node also, it's interesting. I feel what I'll say, and what I was going to say that I forgot to say earlier, and I have a little bit of time because no one booked right after you, is that us being manifesting generators, and how when I first learned about manifesting generators, I was like, oh, we're the multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate people who are here to do and accomplish many different things. That means that I get to work 3 jobs at one time, and I can be successful at all of them. And the universe is like, no, bitch, like, that's not how it works. Like, you are like on a very quick road to burnout. And I learned that the hard way. So I'll share that with you, right? To say that you are going to do many things over your lifetime. But when you get that idea at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and this is for multiple different reasons, exceptionally true for you, not even for every manifesting generator, you want to lean into being like, yes, exactly, She-Wolf. Yes. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, he has to get up, Sarah has to get up. Yeah. And then go ahead and do it. And I think it's like, for me, like, I had a lot of different things that I was doing today. I had an appointment, like I was running around. I was running around yesterday too, but like, I will take naps and rest in between. But like, that's how I can be on live for almost, I was on live. It was also a 4-4. It was like 4 hours and 40 minutes last night. Because like, I napped, like I took my rest, like I nourished my body properly, like I felt good, like I was doing things that were exciting to me. So it's like watching out for Sarah, for you as well, and also for your husband, Kelly, like where you are doing things out of obligation versus like actual joy. And that is a really like challenging thing. Hi, Bunches. To learn first, especially if you said yes to so many things that you should have said no to. And it's also like, when you have children and when you have more responsibilities and, are adulting in, today's society, I'm not saying, like, there are days every single day. And the litmus test I'll give to all of you generators and manifesting generators is that there's 2 ways that you can kind of check in with yourself. And Kelly, for you as a projector, it's successful is your signature. Bitterness is your not self theme. For us, Sarah, Orion, myself, we have satisfaction as our like North Star buzzword versus frustration. And every single day, we're gonna feel bitterness or success, satisfaction or frustration. Though I have a lot of people that will ask me at the beginning of like, well, how do I never feel frustrated again? I'm like, it ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna be the one to tell you that, because like, that's not real. Like, those are things that are there to protect us every single day, to say, ooh, I'm feeling frustrated. How do I check myself? Cassandra, for you as well. How do I check myself before it turns into like anger? Yeah, don't be human. Exactly. Go become an amoeba in the sky. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's giving that song like Spirit in the Sky. Who is that guy's name? It was like something Green Bomb or something like that. But this is like an old like 70s song. But yeah, all that to say, it's like really checking in with yourself and saying like, okay, does this person make me feel satisfied? If I lay my head down at night and I say, does this feel good? Like, is this something that I feel like, you know, like I can sleep peacefully knowing that I've accomplished everything that I've needed to accomplish? That's what I'm looking to do. A way that I really tapped into that. Yes, Norman Greenbaum, thank you. There you go. I love that. A way that I've really tapped into doing that is every day before I go to sleep, I write the top 3 things that I want to accomplish. I am like very into my calendars and stuff like that. But I say, okay, if I accomplish nothing else tomorrow, would I feel satisfied, you know, tomorrow? Or what are the 3 things that I'm like, okay, I could feel relief, I could feel not so pressured if I accomplish those 3 things. That's how you can also start to practice like being a manifesting generator in real time. You know, you have some energies that'll be coming up between, I mean, now, you know, like even today, it's like maybe wired but tired, I would say, for you. But you also have a few Leo placements, you know, gate 7, gate of the army leader. What else do we have? Gate 4, I had mentioned earlier. So like Leo season is also very active for you. Basically, like I feel like Cancer season to Leo season are always going to be like, it's like hot girl summer, but you're like, am I feeling hot or am I on fire? Like it probably like fluctuates a lot for you during this time, but like just getting to know everything. Yeah, bunches. It is so helpful, especially with all we've been talking about with you as a Gemini rising. I'm also streaming on YouTube, so I'm talking to our beautiful Cassandra over here too, who's a man gen. But yeah, it's so helpful as a Gemini rising also, since we've been talking about money a lot with the video I made on YT and also the PDF that I made for you. It's like, okay, what do I need to feel satisfied if I'm working towards this goal? How can I break it into 3 actionable steps? Hi, Joanna, how are you? Yes, I'm an INFJ also. That is so funny. I don't know about the A part. I haven't looked into that, but I'm also an INFJ. Even though I seem like more extroverted, it's just because I have a lot of energy in my 10th house, and so like, but I've done all my introverted stuff so that I can be extroverted now, you know, like I'm like I hyper focus on my pockets, and I'm very serious about my alone time. As I knew you were too. Thank you so much. I probably, since I saw you last, I definitely lost some weight since I saw you last. Not that that's the only thing that attributes to looking good, but I feel good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm cap heavy in my houses. No, you definitely are. You definitely are. I mean, it's like packed. And then Uranus in there too. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's my hot girl summer. Yeah, but Uranus, gate 58, gate of vitality. What do I need to feel like revitalized? Gate, your Neptune and gate of the fighter. It's giving like Aqua Woman energy. Oh, assertive. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. It does make sense with assertive. I can go both ways. I think it's just my immutable nature of my sun. Like I'm just like, what does the situation require of me? And like knowing, you know, when is it worth it? Like, yeah, I have Mars on my ascendant too, so I can definitely always be up for an argument, but like it just depends on like, is this person worth it for my time? Does it actually do anything? Hi Jazz, welcome. Hi Lex, how are you? But yeah, Sarah, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go back to our home screen so Cassandra can see me and anyone else that's joining us in YouTube Live. Hello. My name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader and astrologer of 9.5 years. If you want to drop your energy type, your big 3, anything you want about astrology in the comments below, please feel free to do that. And thank you. Yeah, Kelly, I appreciate the referral. Thank you so much. And Sarah, I appreciate you for trusting me to read for you and your energy. And I love how you both came in with like the crystal ball, hi Claudia, emojis, like in your, like those three emojis, we could always come in a trifecta. I love that. I love the sparkle emoji too. In true Pisces fashion. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, you're like, whatever Kelly says, like, I'm good. I trust her for that. I totally get that. Feeling like knowing you're in good hands with your people. Oh, projector Jazz. I love that. Yeah, if I say, yeah, if she says, go see this girl, I go. I know. I'm like that with my people too. I'm like, okay, like select people. I'm like, I know that you vetted these people for me. Like, I feel good about that. Libra Sun, Leo Moon. I love a good Leo Moon Sag Rising combo. 6-2 projector. Yes, we have a couple projectors that are in the crew. And then I do get a lot of beautiful Libra placements. I'm always so happy as well. Hi, Regan. How are you? Are you, Jazz, are you past your Saturn return? So when anyone has a 6 in their profile, for all of you guys, if you are not past your Saturn return, that 6 line is actually operating as a 3, which not everybody knows. So basically you're like, okay, once you evolve into the 6 line, up until your next Saturn return, which happens around like, say, roughly like 57, 58, you feel like you're trial and error, then you become more introverted, and then you're like, okay, how do I want to be seen again? Oh, there you go. Okay, yes. Oh, I love this. I feel like as a Sag rising, you like luck is always on your side, but you also have the opportunity to like really be like, okay, like how can I have fun? Like how can you be serious about having fun? Which is funny, that came up a lot today with Megan also. Oh yeah, just coming by to say I really loved the reading from yesterday. Oh, I'm screenshotting that. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I have you in queue to send an email to. I got through like 3 and I was like, I am so tired, I need to take a nap. I also got a 90-minute deep tissue massage today, so that was great, but it also was like, oh, like your girl has to lay down. That was my appointment of the day, but I felt that. It was working through all like the muscle memory. We were talking a lot yesterday too about the body keeping score, and so like moving through all like the fascia, and I just could feel like, where in the words of Megan, my massage therapist, the congestion. I was like, yeah, I feel that. Drinking even more water during Cancer season is so important. And Bunch says, thank you so much. I've been trying to ground so I can continue to soak the PDF and the video in. The video was so good. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. Yeah, it was so fun to make. I'm doing one for each of the rising signs. So for context, over on YT, because I like editing it and it's like fun for me. I'm doing a how to make money based on your rising sign, because I attract a lot of people that are in like spiritual entrepreneurship, and I also just like my people to make money. Yeah, Megan, yes, like still operating as a 3rd line. Yes, I feel that. Coming up, I have Scorpio and Libra risings next. Oh, I love that. Okay, Spiritual Bossy. Is she like in here, or she's on the... Yeah, Jazz, thank you. And I also have a couple good videos on my YT about projectors, but I also have a playlist that I have made in my handle, or in my whatever it's called, like that carousel, about projectors too, so you could binge those too. Yeah, I definitely have been looking. We have Kinesia who's in here too, that I wanted to learn more about, like Vedic and sidereal, because I read for a woman whose grandmother in India was a Vedic astrologer, and it was interesting because we were also talking about the overlap of Vedic versus and sidereal versus, you know, Western. I do see a difference between, and I was talking about this with Dwadiki, who's one of my clients that's over in the opposite side of the world. She's in tomorrow, like my cousin Jules. We have a couple of you that are already in the future, coming to us live from the future. And it's interesting how I noticed that my people, like what hemisphere they're in, they're like gravitate more towards sidereal Vedic versus Western. And so I also think, and because we've talked a lot about past lives, that like, okay, when you look back in your family, like how long have you been in the Western hemisphere versus sidereal? So, you know, I don't have any like concrete hypothesis or you know, research that I've done about that, but it's been interesting to see like how people navigate that, you know. And I also like to see, because it plays so much into, human design, that overlap too. So yeah, just curious to know what will happen after my Saturn return. I know, I mean, so it'll be interesting because I just finished mine. For me, like I'm Aquarius rising, so my traditional ruler is Saturn. So, but I've also, because of my placements, been somebody that never ran from like the hard stuff, because like I also kind of really didn't have a choice. But it's like I just am like, let me deal with this head on, because like I don't want to I don't know, I just don't find a point in avoidance, which is ironic, like coming from a Pisces, but that's why like your sun sign's not the end all be all. So for me, it was more so like I've shared with you guys too, like just in it being candid, like you know, just being okay with like the people that had been closest to me, like just not liking who I am as a person, right? Or like being okay with like family members not understanding me, you know, my mom, my brother, you know, things like that. Like there's a lot of freedom that comes with like just really acknowledging the lessons that your Saturn return has to teach you. It's like it's same thing with wherever Gemini is and where Uranus transit is in your chart. So wherever Gemini is, looking for that, because Uranus is there now, yes, it's the planet of chaos and destruction, and there are things that it's a little bit of like Phoenix rising from the ashes energy, but like how challenging your Saturn return is for you, in my experience, is very connected to how willing you are to handle things when you see that it's something that's going to be, if you have a bill that you have to pay, like make a payment plan for it. Don't just like put it in a drawer and forget it and then wait till, a third one comes in that it's like past due by XYZ sort of days and you've made a mountain out of a molehill. Yeah, I mean, you also like on a platform, you have to remember and like use your discernment for like people have always capitalized on fear mongering, and it's like we know a lot of that, especially in the spiritual community. It's like a lot of people that are, thankfully have been or being called out since the, I would say like COVID era. But yeah, it's not like if you, with your placements too, I'm not worried about you as a Sag rising, but I think it's just watching out for, I don't necessarily want to say escapism, but I think like when you have to really just know like, okay, I gotta just handle this and figure it out head on. That's just the best advice I could give to you. I know I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but like 5th house for you, it's also like our drama, like people starting petty drama, like where do we get involved with people that like it doesn't really matter. The buzzword is also from where we were talking about, it's like tricky, like trickster energy. Yeah, okay, yes, there you go. So you were allowed to in a past life bring a little bit of that creativity over, but like, if you are always, I'll say this, like if you're somebody that's always living in a like induced state, that also is a level of like not actually helping you. Like I see us incarnating in this lifetime as a game. So it's like if there's ways that you can allow yourself to like really understand like what you're doing and why you're doing it, and be honest with yourself, it's the best thing for you. Because it's like the best thing I can say about it also is like just being aware of like how loud your pain can be during your Saturn return. Hi, Leary. Like people can really notice like where you've been sleeping on yourself, and it can get very loud if you've been like delusional in a way that's like not actually helpful. Like Delulu is not always the Solulu in those ways too. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No, I didn't see. There was like a lot of you that came in and it was like blah, like the word vomit. So I missed like a lot of comments, and I was like, okay, anyone that like wanted to repeat it again can just drop it in the chat. But I didn't see. I know that my other Brenna had a question, I think too. Brenna, I don't know if you're also still here, but Leary, let me know again. But I was getting Sarah set up and making sure that my book was open because I had a little schedule block in it today. But yeah, drop it again. But yeah, I think that 5th house is also romance. It is also creativity, right? I've mentioned that. Petty drama, I said that as well. I think like definitely for your placements too, you're really going to start to see during your Saturn return for the Sag risings that I know, and I have quite a few in my life, like they started to grow differently from like out of different friendships. No matter where Saturn was like in their chart, I mean Sag rising specifically, but like it was just like, okay, I realized that like we are not the same. We don't value the same things anymore. For my Sag risings, like people in your life that kind of just like, for lack of a better way to say it, the trash kind of took itself out at that point for Saturn return in the 5th house energy for sure. So, people who don't want to, learn the hard way, or it's like you can let them reveal themselves on their own. Yeah, no, so for me, Saturn isn't just about, yes, I do read astrocartography. I do. I can do it for you tonight if you want to pull it up, your chart instead. You can just book the same way. Yeah, I've definitely been cutting friends off. There you go. So you're already ahead of the curve. But yeah, it's not, Saturn is just about like, where can you get, it's literally what I've been saying with the full moon. Hi, Lauren. Where can you get more serious about your discipline in those areas? Like it's not about like Saturn is not a block. It's a bumper that like is like saying, okay, go in this direction. It's like Saturn is like the archetype of like the disciplinarian, but like that has your best interests at mind. Like I'm not like a love. Thank you, Lauren. I'm not like I only see the good in love and light. And I believe there are things that are like more challenging birth chart aspects, or things that can be like we see more obviously what somebody's like heart is, but like wherever Saturn is, I don't look to it automatically. Yeah, exactly. Also, like Aries is lighter. Thank you, Jess. And you're a Sag rising, so it's like you're gonna see it that way too. Yeah, so like if you have, I can just do like an overview of it for you, Megan. But if you want to look at like where do I go to be seen more, you know, I already know because I read for you last night and a few times before, like kind of what you're thinking. So like we can just, you know, look at it and have it take us away, see where the wind takes us. But I like it also for planning travel. I actually just did like a very bare bones drop down menu for longer astrocartography readings on my site. So if you guys ever want a longer one, but I can also do them via live too. Just book the same like Human Design Hotline link and then just write like astrocartography in the I'll say in the show notes. Even in YouTube land, in the you know, where it says like what do you want to ask me about, things like that. But yeah, I think also that there's like some people who like to, and I also see it, to be fair, hi Mo, how are you? What I was talking about with Lauren actually yesterday is like the hyper awareness that Gen Zers that are going through their Saturn return also have on like being perceived as doing something wrong. So it's almost like if you're told, I'm good, if you're told that your Saturn return is going to be difficult and like you're going to experience these blocks, then you almost have an excuse to not try. And so I think that we underestimate, and I say this to my fellow spiritual practitioners, like how much people actually want to be told that it's okay to be lazy or to like not have to do anything, no matter what generation you are. We see that there's no discrimination when it comes to age in that regard at all. If you've ever worked in a public facing retail, you know, restaurant, hospitality industry, I certainly have, you just see that across the board. Cassandra says, all my past life remembrances have shown me how I passed away. I love that because you're just talking about that with Kelly too. Super interesting. I just had my fourth one just show up about 3 weeks ago. I love that. That is so exciting. Yeah, bumper is an incredible word for Saturn. I'm glad I'll pass the baton to you. That was exactly how it played out for my sister. She just came out of her Saturn return. It was wild, but there was a bit of avoidance. I mean, yeah, I think it's like, there's also just so much that happens that it can really be overwhelming, especially in hi Lisa, especially in like Pisces. It's like Neptune, so it's like we're dreamy and we're ethereal, but it's also like, okay, but I want to dream, but like this thing is dragging me down, and once I handle it, then I can dream again, and I'm dreaming and I'm going off this way, and then I pull back down again, and it's kind of like, okay, like get off me, get off my back, I've handled this problem, okay, here's your milk and your cereal, go watch TV, like I have to do this now. And I don't necessarily like to use children, but it's kind of like our cranky inner child that like just needs a lot of attention, and also how that plays out in the cast of characters that are in your life can also be interesting too. Yeah, Orion says, I'm actually kind of glad I didn't know too much about astrology when I had my Saturn return. Yeah, I feel like the spiritual psychosis also could have been real. Yeah, exactly. To your point, I think it definitely would have made it worse for my overactive and undefined unconscious Ajna. I agree. I agree. If I wasn't like educated at the level I was, I feel like I would have been more, I don't know, it just comes with education and life experience, right? Like if we don't know, we don't know. Yeah, cranky inner child. Oh, I love that. I'm glad. It feels so real. Lisa says, oh my God, I'm 2 weeks away from my second Saturn opposition. What's the difference between opposition and return? So an opposition is where it's wherever Saturn is opposite your natal Saturn. So I'm assuming that Pisces, you have a Virgo Saturn, because Pisces sits opposite from that. So Saturn will be unless it's directly opposing is what you mean, where it could also be, because our Saturn is in Aries, your Saturn would be in Libra. So an opposition is it's literally opposing the sign, where it's like heads butting. A return is it's returning, like we call your birthday your solar return, because the sun is returning to where it was the day you were born. Because this is where like knowing basic like astronomy can also really help with, yeah, so it's any planet, it's like how everything is in orbit, right? So it's like it's always going to return back to the place that it came to. The further out we go into like the outer planets like Neptune and Uranus that sit on the outskirts of our solar system, That's why, like, when you look at human design body graph or your natal chart, like, Pluto's last, because it's the last planet. It's like central New Jersey. Like, Pluto's like, do you believe that it's a planet? I do. But it's like, where are you? You know, what's the orbit that's happening? So your return, or like your Saturn return, like I was, to use Jazz as our example, is like where it's returning in your orbit. And I don't know how long, like a Jupiter orbit it like is, for example, but I'm curious now, like, wait, let's see. Jupiter orbit. So every 11 years, it would change signs. So you may, yeah, I don't know if you would necessarily then be alive to experience a Jupiter return. No, you would be. I can't do the mental math that quickly, but I'll research that more. You've sent me on another 1-3 rabbit hole, Cassandra. Thank you. I love that. Wait, okay, Jupiter. This is Sarah. And then Jupiter return. But yeah, I don't know when. Oh, 2009. Okay, so how was it for you in 2009? Like, what were some things that you experienced, Lisa? That's interesting too, like time, I mean, every year is interesting, but, oh, I think I have one right now. Okay, yeah, I would have to, so if you are 11 at your first one, you would be like 22, 33, you know, give or take like 11, 12 years. So it's like if you're in double digits, like, oh, opposition, okay. Yeah, 11, 22, 33, 44. But it's now what we're doing is, I don't know if it stays in the same constellation. So like, it wouldn't be when you're 11 and 22 that Jupiter would be in the same sign. If I'm doing it correctly in my head, it would go from like, okay, from 0 to 11, it's in whatever your, say, like, not exactly, but like your natal placement is. And then if we're, sorry, this is like me doing the math equation in my head, which probably sounds so confusing. But like, if then after 11 years it moves like into Gemini, and then it's into, after Gemini it would be Taurus, and then Cancer, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, a divorce, I found my independence. Good for you. Oh my God, yeah. See, that's what I mean about like making the hard decisions. Like on paper, that literally, well, on paper a divorce is actually a lot of freedom, but like it doesn't actually like feel good, but it leads to your independence, right? Like the phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy is what can be helpful. But yeah, AstroSeek, Orion was saying Cassandra is a good website. That's the one that I used for your PDF that I made for you. And I have the PDF linked in the Gemini Rising video that I made too. So for those of you who are interested in taking a look at that. But yeah, now I'm like curious. I'm like, okay, I have to look at that. But what we also have is profection years. I actually did a video for this in as a bonus video on Patreon. So for those who like to support through Patreon, you guys are sweet to support me through there. I have it as kind of like an ongoing support. Yeah, like Cassandra said, thank you, Orion. And then I do like extra bonus videos for you guys, as well as a 10-minute complimentary reading. It's $22 a month. And so I did a video on perfection years. And so every year, depending on how old you are in a certain perfection year, basically like perfecting, kind of, right? It's not exactly to say it's not a perfection year. Mamacita, I love that way. There we go. For whatever reason, all those didn't come through, but I'll let them come through now. But we are, yeah, if you're like 31, 8th house perfection year, 30, 7th house perfection year, 29, 6th house perfection year, so on and so forth. You know, you can go through and see whatever age you are and see what perfection year you're in to learn like the lessons of that house. And that would be like, you know, if you're 0, it's a first house perfection year, coming into the world, like you're experiencing life and growing and all those types of things. So that's also like an interesting kind of fun rabbit hole to go down too. So yeah, but let me know if you guys have any other questions or anything else, Lisa, that you had about your Saturn opposition versus Saturn return. Our first Saturn return happens around, I'm gonna just like round and say 28. The second one is about like, you know, 58. So that's where we see the return versus an opposition. My furry baby just came in here to hang out with mom. He's gonna lay in his little bed by the door. My Leo son. Yeah, I love that. Okay, perfect. Let me refresh so the little notification comes through. Yay, me gain. Okay, cool. So let me bring this up. Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Can you say anything about Uranus opposition happening right now? Yes, since it just moved into Gemini. I'll answer that as I bring Megan's chart up. So Uranus is about chaos and upheaval. Yeah. You're like, say less. I already know. So basically, if you've been really digging your heels into something that you should have let go of, it's another shake-up period. Gemini is also ruled by Mercury, so it could be like a lot of like contracts and things you thought you had figured out verbally with people that they're not following through on their agreements, like those types of things that can be coming up. So I would just kind of pay attention to, you know, what if it's not written down, does it really exist, sort of thing. And just kind of taking stock of that, I'll say. It's like the opposition, you know, creates that tension where it's like that tete-a-tete, like head-to-head energy where you're kind of like, okay, who am I butting heads with right now? What am I butting heads with right now? Where am I being a little bit too stubborn and hard-headed? Or also, am I switching up my energy so much that like I don't, like it's not actually doing me any favors? Megan, what is your birth year again? I have your birthday and your birth month, but not your birth year. Sure it's going to bring up the right place. It's trying to push us to... Didn't we say that there was like a... Did they change the name of the town that you were born in? 2000. Okay, Megan. Yeah. I was asking Megan because she booked a reading with me, so I'm just filling up her chart right now. Thank you, Megan. Never mind. I know why I did it. It was reverse. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes, that's what I thank you. Me being geographically challenged in that regard. Okay, guys, let me see here. Okay. Oh yeah. So astrocartography I look at separately just because of how I read for astrocartography. But I prefer to look at it separate. I haven't used a chart generator that will show like two lines at the same time, because I use astro.com, and you'll see in a second why that's overwhelming. Let me go here. And then I'll show our chart in a second. So there's two things that we're looking at. Astrocartography is also called, locational astrology. There we go. And so do that. Okay, cool. So this is what it looks like. This is how it's overwhelming and why it's overwhelming. So let me see here. So we are at 53 minutes for Megan. And I am going to flip this around so we can see what we're looking at. So there's going to be this little bullseye, this red bullseye for where you were born. And so when we're looking at like, okay, where you were born in the world, all of these other lines are your planetary lines. So astrocartography is basically like if you cast a shadow from where the planets were in the sky, hi Panane, and you cast a shadow on the earth, where would they influence, or what areas of the world would they influence, right? So there's another way that you can look at astrology astrocartography for where you personally are, and like the mini energies that run through there. But I always recommend starting with like a basic one like this. You can just literally get a lay of the land, pun intended. Now what's interesting is that if you guys are familiar with the term zenith, at least in the astrocartography sense as well, it's these hyper, it reminds me of the little chips that we used in like math class in school, where it's the most potent energy. Now, for most people that I read for, in astrocartography, these like points are like in the middle of the ocean. Now, in astrocartography, for how I was taught, we can feel the planetary energies into like a 200-mile radius. Now, as you'll see here, there's like places, like if we're looking at just your lines here, your Venus and your Chiron, your Pluto and your Chiron are like almost directly on top of each other, right? So that also tells me data about your birth chart and the intersectionality there. If you were to go to the western coast of Africa, South Africa here, you're going to feel, within 200 miles, a lot of potency with that energy. So like those areas can be good for, healing and transformation and inner child's healing, like healing Nigeria, for example. But like, I wouldn't be like, you're going to go there and have the best vacation ever. Like, even if you're relaxing, it can bring up a lot of stuff for you emotionally. So the specific aspects that Megan was asking about was places to go to be seen, and if there are best places for you to travel along your Venus line. So your Venus line is this green line here, right? So it's helping us to kind of look through. If we're in Africa, just staying here, right? Algeria, actually, Nigeria, we see a little bit of this. And then also, let's see, south of France, if we're looking along these lines, south of France, close to like Monaco, you get a little bit of a break closer to Marseille, because that's also closer to your moon line, right? Which is this line we have running through here. What I also would say, yeah, exactly. Chiron lines can be a bit intense. You're like, for just a casual way to say it, I know from personal experience, exactly. This would be like, if you were to go west of this line, like if I really zoom up here, this would be more comfortable for like actually having like a relaxing vacation, like driving through the French Alps. And like, if you were to go like, over closer to Monaco in this direction, like very northern portion of Italy, where like, and Switzerland even, which is ironic because of, we know Switzerland to be, a little bit more, I don't know, what's the word? Diplomatic, for lack of a better way to say it. What I also, not just your Venus line. Yeah, there you go. No, it is like, this is why I'm telling you, we have felt called to go to different places that we've never been to before. So what's funny, Megan, right, is that I'm Irish by descent, right? And your sun line and your Mercury line also runs through Ireland, like directly through. So like, I see you, I recognize you, we can communicate well together. I would pick up on your dry humor and joking about the most random things. Like you probably feel an affinity or comfort around Irish people, right? Like also people from the UK, like a little bit further north, like that's why we feel that way also. So when you want to be seen, right, Ireland is also a place or places on your sun line, or connecting with people that are from those areas of the world. So like, I have always so my first boyfriend was Turkish. I dated somebody that was Egyptian, first generation Egyptian. My fiance now is Cuban, and I had energies of my Venus line in one way or another intersecting all of those places. And I didn't know any of that basically until after, with the exception of my fiance now. But it's like why we feel that, right? Or like it literally was running through basically this whole corner, like straight down through this corner of the world for me. And I went to Turkey once and I loved it. I would love to go back. But enough about me with that, right? So if we're going back down, I also wanted to see actually again, South Africa for you. Yeah, we go off the coast at that point. So if I'm going around the world here, yeah, also, Australia too would be another good place. Western Australia too. Like if you went closer to Sydney, your Saturn's there. So I feel like if you were to like, what is New Zealand? Yeah, so you're off the coast of New Zealand, couple small islands there. But if you were to also be like, okay, I'm going on, like if you were in the acting world when like I'm recording it, so you'll have it. I have 3 timestamps that I'll get back to you. So, but I was saying Australia would be a good place. Like if you were like in the acting space when like Lord of the Rings was a thing, right? Like this would have been kind of perfect timing because I think they filmed in Australia. I know New Zealand, but I believe Australia. Also China, right? Connecting with people in China can also be good for you. Philippines, right? Like communicating with people or like really feeling like they see you would also be helpful. Specifically the east coast of China. I mean, this happens in everyone's chart, so like that's a lot of energy. There you go, Mikain. See, I'm telling you, it's just like validating everything that you know to be true. What are we also looking at? Which is so interesting as well, because there's a lot of, like, if we look at where you are now in this corner of the world, you know, you're closest or would be closest to between Pluto and Mars. So, which is interesting because we were also talking about like your parents' energy yesterday. Quebec would be closer to your Pluto. I love Quebec and Montreal. I've been there once. But there's also a lot of like filming that happens in this area of the world. Like, I don't know, you know, in the Ontario province, if you will, up here, how much that they're doing, but also Chicago, like if you wanted to really like, you know, go on a brand deal trip as an actor or like do the screenwriting workshop in Chicago, especially for like, what is the term for, well, Chicago I know is like the Windy City, but like, is it Second City that Steve Carell was a part of in Chicago? I'd been there for a comedy show and I visited my cousin. But yeah, like, oh, it's also really interesting is that where are you in proximity to Atlanta? So your Mars, for being seen and acting, right? Like you're going through Floribama Shore, Alabama as well, but you're closer to Atlanta. Atlanta also has a big, film scene too, and a lot of work happening there. What also? Oh, it's so funny. So your Venus line also runs through Cuba, but so does your Chiron. You're right. You're like right there. And your Pluto. So, and also like it is a little rough, you know, and for a lot of different reasons. Kingston, Jamaica, right? Also cutting through there. The Panama Canal, Panama. What else do we have here? Costa Rica. I can't see exactly the border there too. And then I think it's just going to bring us into the ocean at this point too. Yeah, that would be your Venus sign in and of itself. I mean, I also love South America for you. Like, look at how, like, you have a lot more clean space out there. I wish you were on when, I had, Igor had been on more, and he's going through his different own metamorphosis and stuff too. Yeah, I love this. See, like, and this is where, like, I love my job because like I love to affirm the fact that like you are your own authority. Like my job is to affirm what you know to be true, not to take your authority away from your choices or like also be the bumper for you, right? As a Saturn dominant person, as I said earlier, like I love to just like be like, no, like this is perfect. Like here's how we can just tweak it a little bit to say like, okay, maybe we don't want to go to Cuba per se right now, but like if you go a little bit further south, like getting closer to Brazil or in that area of the world, like that's where it's like it just feels better for you. Or this is why if you want to go to Australia, going to the East Coast versus to the West Coast, you may get more bang for your buck. But like Australia for you also, I mean, I love, it's so funny because Cassandra, we were talking about when you mentioned Jupiter earlier, this hot pink line is your Jupiter line. So it's all about like expanding recognition. I would also look into like Australian films, like who are people that are from Australia that are, yeah, there you go. I mean, Brazilian Bossa Nova is also one of my like all-time favorites. I think it's such beautiful music. So I love that too. Hi, Daniela, welcome. Hi, Ali. So I feel like there's just such good, like there's so many good things that would happen for you in Australia. And basically Sydney, you're like flanked between your Mercury and your Sun. So it's running right through there. I live on my North Node line. So like for me, it's like, I enjoy it. I'm a Scorpio North Node. So it's always this constant, like, you know, Madagascar too, like death, rebirth, transformation, but it's not something that I can't handle. Hello, welcome. We're doing some astrocartography reading if you couldn't tell. You're like, what are these lines? But I love that for your Sun. Like there's just different ways that you can kind of connect with it, but especially like being in the, like the film space, there's a huge opportunity to just kind of be like, okay, well, what do I like that are films that are inspired by this area? I think of like the kids movie Madagascar, which is also really funny. But like, you know, Australian film writers and screenwriters and actors and movies that are filmed about Australia, like things that you want to do in Australia, it's also ways to kind of look into that. And Papua New Guinea too. I'm unfortunately also geographically challenged and ignorant in that area. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Chiron has come up. Living in Chiron zenith is like crying all the time. Like talk about like inner child stuff like to the max. Like you're feeling I want to give you a hug. For the zenith is actually crazy because I was just saying how so many people's zeniths are like in the middle of the ocean or like little islands or like, 80,000 miles off the coast of Hawaii. You're like, oh, I'll just plant myself right here, which is telling of like, why did our soul choose there? Like, why are we here? Did we move here? Can we move away? Like it's interesting. I think just knowing where you are and being informed is always the biggest thing for me, because then you can make like informed, aligned decisions of like where you want to go or what to do with that energy. Oh yeah. Oh, I love that though. I mean, like, have you had to also play the role of like being dad for him a lot too? I love this. Wait, I'm screenshotting that. Thank you, Megan. I know I'm not loving what you said, Daniela. I'm loving what Megan said, just to like state the obvious, but still. At this point, you're a psychic for my Pinterest. I love that. Places to avoid. I mean, I think like I wouldn't necessarily say like, well, Antarctica. Yeah, southern coast. Like you could go to Cape Town, South Africa. I'm not like afraid of that for you. I would kind of stay somewhat away from the western, like southwestern coast of Africa. Playing it safe, like Pluto energy, like if you went to Boston is really good for like if you were to do a movie very quickly or do something that is very transformative for you. Yeah, Daniela, exactly. I'll tap into you in a second. I'm just finishing up with Megan's reading here. But yeah, like it's not like you would have like the worst time here. I just wouldn't recommend staying on your Pluto line for very long if you don't like, especially being a Capricorn sun, like looking at your other placements, it's like I just don't think with your placements that the cycle would be, I don't know, you wouldn't enjoy it. Understandably so. Everything you create is so magical. Oh, thank you so much, Daniela. I screenshotted that too. I appreciate you saying that. That warms my heart. I appreciate that. And I know you too, being on your Jupiter for your sun. But yeah, I think like Jamaica, I don't know. Jamaica could be like, I don't dislike it for you. I think where is your, I'm just going to turn this around so I can actually look at what your Venus and Pluto are doing. Let's see, hold on. I'm going to do this. Oh wow, that's so cool. Oh, Thor, I forgot his actual name, but from Australia. Yes, their brother, the Liam Hemsworth and Chris Hemsworth. Great minds think alike. We needed each other. Let me see. This is where it's helpful. Like, so when I do like a longer reading for people, I actually have their birth chart next to their astrocartography because I'm looking at sextiles, squares, oppositions, like how planets are interplaying for each other. So let me look at this because I also have your... Yeah, I mean, especially for you having it in the 9th house, like I actually don't dislike that for you. I think it's just like playing it safe also in Sag, like really traveling, like you need to travel to feel like sane. A way that I do this, because I also feel very similarly, based on Sag in my 9th house, I love to go to like different restaurants. So like today I had, yeah, thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I'm excited for you. But I had Thai food today with my friend Megan. She brought me to a new restaurant. Like I love doing like local travel. It's giving, look at my repost, also 555. Look at my repost, sign of change, 555 by the way. It's like having like an Anthony Bourdain summer and like traveling like, to any restaurant that you can and trying different foods. I actually saved a couple restaurants. That one in particular, that was an Egyptian restaurant that Anthony Bourdain had gone to in Queens. And I was like, ooh, I want to try that, because Queens has like an amazing food scene. If you guys are in or around like New York City and driving distance, like Queens is so slept on as a borough. Staten Island, just for really Italian food. Some places though, like they have really good like Albanian food. There's a lot of Albanians that live in Staten Island. And also a lot of like Chinese, Korean food, Vietnamese food too. I lived there for like a year. So there's some cool places. But yeah, Megan, I love like the Australia connection. Hi, Kat, welcome. There you go. I love that. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many cool like fun things to do and to see. And I think that it also helps like when you feel kind of like landlocked in where you are. There's also this person, their handle, so their picture is a picture of Kirby, and they have like, thank you bunches. It's like I like food is their handle, and they live in Toronto. And they'll go around and they'll go to all these like Chinese buffets and things like that and eat. Like I love like, I'm not a mukbang person, but I love like people going around and trying different foods. Their like combinations are kind of crazy, but like I appreciate that they go to like, you know, it's not just like in New Jersey, it's like, let's eat pizza, like the basic stuff that I always see because I'm a New Jerseyan, you know? Yeah, absolutely, Begain. It sounds good. Reading again though, do you know the timestamps? So for this one specifically, we were 53 minutes in. Do I have my paper down here from yesterday? I don't think I think I brought it upstairs, but I'll send it to you tonight for sure. Oh, that was my projector training outline. For the other two from yesterday. I know at least, so I started yesterday at 7:30. If you want like a rough estimate, hold on and I can give that to you. Excuse me. You were at 11:25 p.m., so way towards the end of the live. Danielle, the link is in my bio for it. So if you click on the like brennakeely.com/links, it's there, and it'll say like Human Design Hotline reading sign up, and that's so you can sign up. And let me know if you want me to do Human Design, astrocartography, intuitive, like it'll say Human Design Hotline because that's my name for it. But like if you have any other like requests or anything, you know, that you want me to look at for you, please feel free. So I have, it was just the one yesterday, right? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, Megan. So just for 11:25 p.m. So I ended at about like just after midnight. So if you scroll from the end, like 30 minutes backwards, you'll see. And then you'll hear like Noelle's voice and me looking, you know, to the side. Oh, Summit, New Jersey. Yeah, of course. That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, RIP Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, interesting topic given what's going on in the news. I know. He learned too much researching his documentary that will never be finished. I do not disagree with you. Oh, wait. I have it here. Okay, 3 hours and 56 minutes. Hi, Megan. How are you? Megan, that was perfect. I just picked it up. Thank you, Majestic Cat. You helped me. You're good. Good luck. We have 3 hours and 56 minutes in, Megan. I didn't have this today, and I started to do emails, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I like I said earlier, I need to rest. I need to lay down. Aw. Yeah, full mooning is real. The universe feels like it's full mooning some people. Oh, ignore the invite. Sorry. I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, absolutely, Kat. That's so funny. I've never been to Summit, actually. I have family that lives like in that general area. But yeah, let me double check. I'm gonna make sure my YouTube hotline is up. There's a couple good restaurants actually in Patterson that I wanted to go to as well. And it's like Newark, like you say Newark, and people who are like ignorant to the area are like always like terrified. And like there's so many good places too in Patterson to eat as well. A lot of like Middle Eastern food and influence too. Okay, yeah, so YouTube is also good to go. I have 4 spots left right now. So I'll just keep an eye out for your notifications as you guys put them in, send them through. But yeah, Yeah, I'm in bed. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hi, Jillian. Welcome. Aw, thoughts and things. That's so sweet. I love that handle. Yeah, you're like, I'm in bed. I have no makeup on. Like, please don't, don't invite me. One day, right? That's all I said something like that to Gabe today too during the full moon circle. Like, what did I say? Gate of Gabe or something like that? Or like, oh, it asked you to be a host too. So that was funny. It was like all just having to do the rotation of like hosting, which actually was one of the things I wanted to do in Patreon, kind of have like because Noelle is in our Patreon as well. Do kind of like okay, yeah, Tara, sounds good. You didn't use your July yeah, Gabe of Drive. Exactly. There you go. You didn't use your July session yet, I don't believe. So you could put it under that too. Just fill it out because it'll block my schedule. So if you use the whatever hotline link you can find, it's fine. Yeah, Megan, I know. I took a nap earlier. Like, I didn't fall asleep yesterday. I mean, I usually need like a good 2 hours to decompress, to compress, after live, and I didn't fall asleep till like 2 o'clock this morning. And I was up at like 8. Yeah, Gate of Gabe. I know, the Gabe of Drive. Yeah, we're just gonna change everything with Gabe now. Yeah, listen, I am pro napping. A Pisces woman needs her sleep. Like hell hath no fury like a Pisces woman who hasn't napped. I am pro napping. Always have been, always will be. Yeah, it's happened to me when I go live. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's my hubby's phone with my name. I love that. That's sweet. Yes, Gabe usually equal Gabe. Oh, yes, exactly. The autocorrect. I'm just going to close my blinds. Yeah, the autocorrect is funny. I also got this, which is so nice. Like if you guys like a little like footstool. I think I got it from Wayfair. I know it's like arguable, but I was like, you know, I'm not trying to pay restoration hardware prices out here just because my feet are going on it. Yeah, it's helpful. I like it because it like also helps like raise your feet for like circulation, because like obviously when I'm here with you guys I'm sitting a lot, so that has its own benefits. Yeah, I'm short and have shorter legs. I wouldn't think that. I feel like especially as an Aquarius rising, like I'm 5'8", but you don't register as somebody who is short to me. You're BDE. BTE, big tall energy. Yay, Tara. Okay, cool. Let me see. So I will bring up Tara's astrocartography. Oh, I may have. Let me see. Hold on. Do I have? Yeah. Okay. Nice. I already have your chart in here. Oh, you also have Saturn Sun opposition. Or trine, sorry. Which is better. Alrighty, so yeah. You tell me other stuff too. Okay, perfect. Yes, I love that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, 5'3", that's so funny. Aw. I love that. That's so sweet. Okay, so let me pull up my chart. There we go. And then Tara, I'm just gonna start now because we're here. What's our minute marker? We are at 1:18. Tara. Okay. Ring. Oh, thank you. Yes. I love my ring. I love its simplicity because I like stacking it. So over time, yeah, it would depend on who you ask. That's true. There we go. Okay, astrocartography. Okay, so if we're using in the same vein, right, of what I was talking about for beautiful Megan with her astrocartography, we'll pour into Tara now. So again, the core of where you're at, right? So like where you were born is going to be the little bullseye here. Now, it depends on what you're looking for, right? The world is your oyster. Probably one of the whitest things that I repeat over and over again. But like really looking into, which is so interesting because like your moon line runs through like a little bit of New Jersey, like, you know, my corner of the world in the tri-state area over here. Moon energy, right? Like also coming down. That's also like peaceful, alchemizing your moon, you know, like feeling emotionally satisfied. Virginia Beach, the Carolinas, right, can also bring a little bit more of that. Also like Appalachia, ironically. Yeah, Rhode Island. That makes so much sense. You're, again, 200-mile radius. So we also see that for you too. Or can see that for you too. It's so funny because it's like Megan also being in Canada, right in this corner of the world. I mean, I don't even know if this is like, what is it, hospitable land, if that's the right way to say it, but like also kind of let Uranus, like I loved being on a Uranus line when I was in New Orleans. My Uranus runs through New Orleans, but like it was kind of like you just feel very like witchy and at home on a Uranus line. It's like chaos magic in like a good way. So thank you, Megan, for sharing the live. So this would be kind of like a fun place for you to go. Also, I love, which is so funny because this is West Virginia. Yeah, if I'm looking at the border correctly, it's a little hard to see. Yeah, West Virginia, because here's Kentucky. Also having your Saturn and your Uranus run through there, which is also really interesting, through a national forest, so there wouldn't be any hospitable land or places that you can live in, or hi, hello, how are you? In that area. But yeah, also coming down through here. Atlanta for you also, and Tallahassee near Florida Panhandle, right? Or no, not Panhandle, Florida Bama Shore. I always say, no, is that right? I think that's right. Why did it sound wrong? Ooh, I also like this for you, Houston too. Your North Node connecting with your Venus line, also running through Texas. That would Tyler, Texas, I guess in that corner of the world. Also like there are good people that can exist in different places. So if there's ever a place, oh yeah, there you go, Megan. I thought so. Yes. That's why you being besties, you would be besties in that corner of the world. Panhandle, Florida. Thank you. I used to say, like, again, in my naivete, the Louisiana Panhandle, and I was like, what am I talking about? I was like, oh God, Mercury in Aquarius thing, just making up my own rules. Yeah, the closer you go to like Western Texas, again, Chiron line, wouldn't recommend in the words of Gabe. You, like me, have a very open, like basically my side of the U.S., or like my, you know, majority, 2/3 of the U.S. is also pretty open where there are no lines there. So like I went to Denver. Denver was fine, right? Like I came, I saw, I left. Like I didn't really feel any type of way there, right? It wasn't bad, but I was just like, okay, like I saw this, like there's so many other places, like let's go to Wyoming and Montana and like, you know, Salt Lake City, like other places that I could kind of explore and bounce around. That's how you would feel like in places where there's no necessarily like planetary lines. I actually really loved Arizona, and I loved, because I was in Sedona, so like there's a whole like, you know, vibe there in and of itself. But you know, going there for like retreats, doing retreats in the Four Corners, even like Colorado Springs, like if you like hiking, right? Like I wish I did more hiking while I was in Colorado. I actually would probably go back there just to do that. Also something to pay attention to. Yeah, exactly. The red rocks are so beautiful. I love the amphitheater. That was like a magical little vortex there for sure in and of itself. Yeah, your Mercury. Hi, Marcus. How are you? I was just talking about New Orleans and my trip to New Orleans. Your ears were ringing. San Francisco, right? So, where Gabe's corner of the world as a West Coast, but yeah, right? Exactly. A West Coast baddie. We're noticing that too, right? Seattle, this Bend, Oregon. This is where I'm thinking of like, Twilight energy. Portland, Oregon, Seattle. I feel like also because of the weather there, it would be a little bit like witchy, but also maybe depressing long term. But yeah, I don't dislike that for like if you're talking about like big transformation. Oh yeah, I did know a couple people from Corvallis actually, who were really sweet. So just kind of paying attention to that too. You know, if we get into other parts of the world, like if we're looking at, where is this? Cancun, actually, Belize, Hav, who will pop in here. Yeah, Pacific Northwest is great. Definitely want more sun. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Marianne. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, we are. I'm here every Wednesday and Thursday for the most part. We're back on. But yeah, Cancun also for Uranus would be kind of cool, right? And paying attention to that. Where else do we have here? What is this? Cartagena? Is this part of Colombia? Yeah, this is part of Colombia. I wish the gray lines were a little bit thicker so I could see, but your zenith for your moon is in Colombia, which would actually be really interesting. Yeah, that's so funny. I wonder why. I mean, I feel like just people got kind of disconnected in like the BAN that happened temporarily, but I've been here for at least for Wednesdays and Thursdays, but I wasn't always. I know when I was first starting, I was here like 4 days in a row. So that did change a little bit too, in your defense. But yeah, so paying attention to Colombia would be cool for you, Tara. What are we also coming down? I think this is Chile. Right, yeah, Peru. Okay, Peru, a little bit of Ecuador, but Ecuadorian people too. You also have your sun running through Brazil, which is funny, and your Mercury. It's a wider aspect. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. Yeah, Guyana, Salvador, Mercury communication also in that area. You also have, yeah, some zeniths in South Africa too, which is actually really cool. Eritrea, that's also, Leah is from there. Leah Zion, who will pop in every once in a while too to our live. She's from Eritrea, her family, and her. Ethiopia, Kenya, Turkey, like me, Syria, which is interesting. It's like, it is so painful to see like everything that's happening in the world and being like, oh. Paris, Mercury running through Paris. I always forget how north Paris is in France. I always pictured it being like right in the middle in my mind. Portugal for you too, for communication. Northern Italy, actually closer to Monaco would be good for you too. Tunisia, with abundance, expansion. Where is this? Denmark too, your Jupiter also connecting. Oh, look at this. Okay. We also have Norway. Very close to Oslo, actually. Norwegian folks like going to Oslo, also good for Jupiter activities being seen. If it's going great, it'll be amazing. I also like that you have an intersection of your Mars, your Jupiter, and your sun here too, which is actually really interesting. It's like a sideways H that you have running through here. Yeah, that's so cool. Hi, Dwaniki. How are you? How are you? Yeah, Denmark is actually also really interesting. Hamburg, Germany, too. I could totally see you in Germany. So cool. Hi, Simone. Welcome. We're doing astrocartography. The Netherlands, Belgium, or Bordeaux. So it's so funny. I actually did a medieval pilgrimage from Leon, Spain, this way to the Santiago de Compostela, which is here. So like running around this pilgrimage route, I actually feel like that would be, it's in Galicia, like that region of Spain. Walking basically like this along here. It's the Camino is what it's called. And they have a Camino that runs through Portugal too, which I also like for you, Portuguese people. I'm doing a little astrocartography, and a little bit of everything. We're doing the spiritual mixed bag today, which isn't fun, but yes, I am, for whatever readings you would like. I should have a couple other spots, open. I have Jen. Yay, Jen. Okay, I see you. I'm almost finished up, just in the last few more minute or so that I have with Tara here, and I should have like 1 or 2 spots left. But I will stay on a little bit later like I did last night. Not as late as I did last night, but a little bit later. But you also have your Neptune and your Mars running through Cairo and Egypt. That would be cool to do a trip like over in that area of the world. I definitely want to get there at some point for sure. Jordan, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I mentioned that too. Where else is your Venus? Oh, I didn't go over here. Ooh, Japan, southern Japan, like the beach coastal aspects of Japan. I also like Australia for you too, actually. I don't dislike that. More, again, sun sign, you know, a little bit closer to the middle west, like Sydney too. I mean, I think that's a little bit more than 200 miles. You know, Melbourne, and New Zealand also would be really cool. I feel like you have so many options. Sometimes like I look at mine and I'm like, okay, here's a handful, but then I get somebody's chart like yours and I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty amazing. So you have a lot of places. Hi Jen, welcome. Yes, same amount. I love the Camino. Oh my God, I didn't realize you did it too, Marcus. That's so cool. I would love to go back. It's my oyster. The world really is your oyster. I actually got a little oyster with that saying is, Mario, hi. It's an astrology, like astrology of the world, essentially. So if you are into astrology, we're looking at a map that tracks how your planetary influences match your energy of where you are in the world. So yay, Simone, I'm excited. Sorry, jump scare. Super close to my face there. But thank you, Tara, for letting me read for you. I love that. And like so many cool places for you to go. I will send you the recording. Yeah, Mario, welcome. I had a couple, it's so funny. I don't know, Mario, are you the Mario that I read for like last year or so, or a year and a half ago that was interested in moving to Colombia? I was thinking of that Mario the other day, whether you were him or not, but I had you on my mind, or him on my mind, so it was funny that you came through today. Just your name in and of itself, but yeah, thank you, Tara. That was fun to do. Let me see. Oh yeah, exactly, Bunches. Yes, Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Do I register as short? I don't know. Are you? I think you do. Yeah, but it's because you have a stellium in the 5th house. So I'm like, you have that energy of like I just want to protect you, not in like I need to parentify you, but like no, like be nice to Cassandra. You know, like it's like that almost like big sister energy for sure. Hi, Dwaniki. I'll open it for you. So that we have some more time, and then we have 5 minutes for Jen, and then 5 minutes until Jen, and then Simone. I'll probably start a minute or two earlier just to give us some time, and then Jen, I do record the readings and I'll email them to you. I'll protect your information so no one can see it. Hi Prince, how are you? Aries, Sun, Sag, Rising, Pluto, and Moon. I know you from my comments. Like I see you. I actually pay attention. I have like 5 Scorpio placements, so I remember my people who comment consistently. You are 5'10". Oh my God, that's so funny. See, you and what's it called? Like Megan in my mind, or flip-flopped? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Jen, absolutely. Okay, before I keep yapping away, because I am a certified yapper, let me go to my calendar here. Yeah, good night. Say good night, everyone. Good night, Cassandra. I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. Enjoy dinner. Okay, let me open it to... Okay, so any of my TikTok peeps, you guys should be good to, oh wait, did it do that? Hold on. Okay, so there's 4 more spots that I opened up, so you guys could go ahead and book. And then let me pull up Jen's chart. Let me see. What am I even doing half the time? I love that question. Oh, this song. So this is from, where am I? Spotify. This is No More Lies. And it's by Flowers, but it's Flowers without any vowels. So it's FLWRZ, comma, and then Q. But it's spelled Q, KYU. So yeah, so this is because big brain, is so when I have music playing in the background during my readings, because I always like to have music, it's literally the copyright-free background music from Spotify. So if I play like the music that I usually listen to, or like sometimes I'll play like Bad Bunny or something like that, just depends on the vibe of the night, I will have to remove part of that music because it's copyrighted. So like it'll flag it. They don't always allow, hi Nini, every song like to go on YT. So, because I'm dual streaming and YouTube is over here, I like to make sure that my people can read. So, both. So I do Human Design Hotline on Wednesdays and Thursdays are where I do like paid readings, but where I also talk like in between. I don't bring up anyone's chart like unless they've paid me, just because I've always, thank you, because I've always done it that way, and I just like to be fair for like treating everyone fairly. I'm an Aquarius rising, if you couldn't tell. Pisces sun, Scorpio moon. Manifesting generator, 1-3 sacral authority. Okay, but Jen, okay, I'm going to bring up your human design body graph so that we have that here too. And then I'll show you my screen so you can see what I'm looking at too. Okay. Oh, okay. This makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of like why you're asking that, just based on what you what you wrote and looking at your chart. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And that's so normal. Like I've been studying this for 10 years almost, and I still learn something new like almost every day. Yeah, Dwadiki, of course. So Jen's question to start. Oh, it's funny. I went down on my other screen and it like moved my screen here. Okay. Jen's question was, what am I even doing half of the time? And like, how do we resolve that using human design? So let me write down my minute marker here for you. So we're literally at 1:36, an hour and 46 for Gen B. Okay. So when we're looking at your human design body graph, yeah, exactly. Like, why are you the way that you are, right? Is always the $1 million question. So you, like me, are a manifesting generator. What has been the theme of the day, right? Or what I've noticed that a lot of people who have been asking me similar questions, what you guys have in common is this channel of rhythms. So one day you're going to have like, it's why you are never going to be a consistent routine girly, but there are certain things that you will do. Like the $1 million tip I could give you just right now is that there are certain things that you will do each season of the year that will shift throughout the year. So it's like what you do in the winter time, like January, February, March, is different from April, May, and June. And then July, August, September, October, November, December, like this is where we see, hi Steph, the kind of shift that comes in with your energy. So the usual thing that I'll say, we have another 5-2 that has entered the villa. I watch Love Island, if you couldn't tell. Just this new season though. But basically as a manifesting generator, our elevator pitch, Jen, is that we're the multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate people who are here to do and accomplish many different things. And so in human design, when we're looking at a body graph like this, just for some like housekeeping reminders, Jen, is we're looking at the energy centers or the chakras. So as a reader, when I'm looking up like, okay, well, what's the type or the flavors of the type of, the flavor of manifesting generator that Jen is, I'm looking at areas of definition versus areas of openness, right? So also very like psychically inclined and very spiritual. I had Karen, who is the sage over on YouTube, that booked a reading with me yesterday. She did a short, and then we're going to meet in a couple weeks for her 30-minute reading. And she was saying that the energy of this placement for her, because I don't have this placement, so she described it as like always having like the other side or spirit is always kind of like this Santa with this like his sack full of presents, always waiting to download and give her gifts to be the conduit for helping other people. And so What's interesting, right, about your channels, which are when, I don't know if you're familiar with what channels are, but they're the tube-like structures that are when we have two of these numbers, which are called gates that connect in your body graph. They mean that you have certain energy. So that 15-5 channel that I mentioned, but one that I'm really always drawn to is this channel that has a lot of projector-like energy, which is what we call the Genius Freak channel. So this is lovingly the Genius Freak channel because like it's what makes you a little bit ahead of your time always. So when you are a little bit ahead of your time, right, and really paying attention to like new and revolutionary and like playing chess not checkers, it can make you kind of, yeah, there you go. Affirmation, divine affirmation through me. It can make you feel like always a little bit of like the odd one out. I'm an Aquarius rising in astrology, so like I totally get that, but it really is like what is one of our greatest gifts. I don't have this placement, but like it gives me Aquarius rising energy or just like Uranus dominant people, where it's like a little bit unique, like a little bit different than the rest. And so also your language too, another Sag Mercury that we have too in our crew. I've had quite a few of you guys recently. But when it comes to just kind of like going back to your original question, you know, after validating some of that stuff, your gate 5 is what makes you like rigorous about your own personal routines. It's also where like sensory issues can come from, like if you can't walk around barefoot in your house, or maybe, hi Sarah, you hate wearing socks, you know, like, or there's always some weird sensory things that we all have. I have gate 5 as well, and it's why I'm like, nobody talk to me, you know, unless I've had my coffee. Like I do not meet with people before 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Hello. For like work for any reason. Like if you try to book me at 9, like I won't be available, like go see somebody else, like I'm not going to do it. Like that's why I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I hate whispering and a few other weird things. Yes, you probably also like hate ASMR. I can imagine. We all have our quirks with that. Like it makes so much sense. And so I say that because what this also affects is like the way that you navigate your time. So paying attention to, hi Mimi, paying attention to, well, yeah, exactly, like what you say yes to also, right? Because what happens is like where you're probably getting hung up on like, what do I actually want to do versus like, what are people saying that they want me to do for them, is like saying yes to people that you should be saying no to, or like just doing things out of obligation. And where this is the channel of money. So anytime money becomes like kind of like a stressor, it's how we know that you're really like living in like out of alignment. Like you've been saying yes to so many people, places, and things that are actually draining versus like actually receiving like rewards monetarily. Money is like a big material, like energetic indicator for you. So I always say that to the people who have channel of money. It's super potent and important to pay attention to that. Gate 15 is where when you do inevitably wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, I need to rearrange my whole interesting word. I need to rearrange my whole room, you know, where I woke up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep and I need to write. I was saying this to Simone, so I'm probably picking up on your energy too. Just get up and do it, because the sitting there and working yourself up into the lather where you're like, oh my God, but I have to be up at 7 and I'm only going to have 4 hours of sleep. When you come home from work, allow yourself to do nothing. You know, if you work a traditional 9 to 5, just using that as an example, it will give you more energy to actually wake up and feel satisfied that you would accomplish something based on what felt right for your extremes versus trying to fit that energy surge into what a 9 to 5, you know, capitalistic society structure has like made you feel was like inappropriate. Human design does bring into a little bit of like biochemistry, which can tie into epigenetics, which is also looking into the fact that like, well, maybe epigenetically speaking, or your ancestors or part of the DNA that you inherited were the people who were like staying up late to like watch, you know, out for, you know, predators in the middle of the night, and make sure that like the community was kept safe. So it's like from a primal sense, or like a sense of like where we originated from, like we can see, I've seen that a little bit of an overlap. That's where like I also find like past life regressions and things like that interesting. You also, like me, have gate 28, which is the fear of running out of time. but also the gate of the game player. So if you're like Jen and you also have this placement, this is where we really want to be aware of, like, we're hyper aware of how we spend our time, but we also are aware that hi Mystical Rebel, we're not going to, be here one day. So when like you have that fear, it's like, oh my God, like we always feel like I've grown out of this, but we feel like we're hyper aware of wasting our energy and our time. This is where, for a couple reasons, like if you really figured out what you wanted to do from an entrepreneurial vein, if you don't already, you could be really good at like giving yourself some boundaries for, yeah, absolutely, Steph, thank you. Let me see, I'll double check. Yes, I do. I see you here. I have Simone, then Dwadaki, then Steph, all of you in a row. I think you'll take us home, Steph. I may have one spot left open. Yeah, Jen, exactly. And that's what happens, right? Like we just learn over time, like how to navigate our energy better. And it's like, okay, like if you flip it on its head, right? Also, because your Sag placements can help you with that. It's like, how do I play life like a game? And I think looking at every like season of your life, like literal season, like what do I want to accomplish in the game that is summertime and this level versus what do I want to accomplish in the fall and the winter, that is going to help you like create like more of a fire under your behind that like is hard for your defined root center to have a lot of like focus and clarity on. You like need some sort of like external presence sometimes like somebody who's checking in on you to make sure that like you've done your homework. Like I'm the kid that like always had the pen that I was giving extra pens to other kids who didn't have pens. Energy like this can be, and this may not necessarily be true for you, but it's like energy like this in different ways where I'll know you know personally what I'm talking about. But like kids who are just like, I'm shoving my papers into my backpack, like I don't really care, like, but I'll submit the project at like 11:59, but like I want to prioritize having fun first. That's where that can come up. But they're like playing sports. Also for you or anybody who has energy here, yeah, Jen, like the channel of money, it is good for you to be competitive. So like even if you pick up like, you know, say you wanted to be I don't know, sell Himalayan salt lamps. I just looked at my salt lamp over there, so it gave me the inspo. And like, it's okay to be the best person or figure out how to sell, you know, the most Himalayan salt lamps out of every person who's ever sold Himalayan salt lamps ever, you know, and pick a competitor, whether they know they're a competitor or not online, you know, and being like, okay, they said they sold 200, I'm gonna sell 201. And that's where it's like, you can kind of play a game with energetics with yourself like that, to also help. But in the last, 30 seconds or so that we have together, I'll say this, that's also can be helpful, and jump scare, because I'm close. Always in a competition that nobody else knows about. Exactly. You're like, I need to be the best. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a healthy motivating factor for you. I think it's a matter of like, okay, what is it that you want to do right now, and not feeling bad about like the fact that it may change in a couple months. Like just really capitalize on whatever it is that you want to do. Thank you. Of like what you want to capitalize on doing right now, and go with that full speed ahead. The last thing that I was going to say before I bring up Simone's chart is to really ask yourself, like, is this mine? Is it someone else's? And like, what is this OPS? It's what I say is like other people's shit, where it's like, whose energy am I picking up on? Cause you have an undefined solar plexus. So it's like our energy center for our emotions when we're on our own is like calm, cool, and collected. But we're always focused and tracking and aware of what other people are feeling. So like when I am reading for somebody, if I feel gripped, or like if I read a message and I start to feel like anxious or like nervous or like edgy, I usually know that it's like whoever is on the other side of that message, like I'm picking up on their energy. And also as an intuitive person, in the best way, it's not always about us, where it's like, what is that person going through? Like I'm picking up on, even as a hypersensitive person, like your upstairs neighbors, if you live in an apartment or a townhouse that like you've never met before. Townhouse isn't necessarily gonna have upstairs neighbors, but like a condo or whatever. So just really being good about like energetic practices and hygiene, and asking yourself, like doing like, little protection prayers or whatever feels comfortable for you. Like I always do like, white light bubble of protection before I leave the house, like things along those lines, can help you feel like you have more clarity on understanding like what is Jen's versus like what am I picking up on from other people that are even like in the car behind me or next to me. That's just a really good tip for that. I don't have a free template for the degrees in the Rave Mandala. I can make one though. I'll figure out how to do that. I mean, I would know how to do it. It would take me a little time, but I don't think they have one online. Because I just did it manually because I'm nuts, but that also is what helped me like manage it. But thank you so much, Jen, for letting me read for you. I'm excited to just give you some tools that it'll be helping you. Yeah, I'm so glad. Listen, it's just a matter of when you're going to be successful in whatever you need affirmation for that for, not like if you're going to be successful. And I really believe that about everyone that comes across my way, you know, that ends up booking a reading with me. It's like you're ready to like answer that call. And like honestly sick and tired of like being slept on or sleeping on yourself. You know, it can go both ways. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. We notice that. So I feel you. Especially going into Leo season for you with your Leo Mars. So thank you, Simone. Let me see here. Okay, stored astro data, and I'll bring up astrocartography for Simone here. It's so funny, like 2 lives in a row can be so different. Like yesterday it was like so high energy for so long, and now that the full moon is like dipping because we're all so sensitive, like I know like you guys can also feel like, oh okay, like we're chill. And my music like was not playing yesterday, so we did not need the extra noise. I really feel that. Okay, astrocartography. Yay. Okay, so let me bring up on the screen here, and we are at 150. It was 150 for Simone for astrocartography. Okay, so a couple things, and this is actually a tip that I'll give you guys that I didn't mention before that I know that you'll appreciate. So this is where like TikTok is a little finicky about it right now. No, I didn't mean to like my own live. But something that I did as I was growing on this app is that I would tag the geolocation of my sun sign or my Venus sign to connect with the energy of those places and spaces for like people who are actually aligned with me. So Simone, if we're looking, your bullseye, right, is going to be like where you're born, right, in that area of the world. And so for astrocartography, like for one of the basic points that we want to pay attention to is that where we feel the planetary energies of our lines, within a 200-mile radius of like wherever we're at. So like if you live in the same area of the world, like do a little bit of a 200-mile radius. It's like basically from the tip of my nail to the base of my thumb, right? So it's like your sun line is a little bit outside of like LA area. So like Phoenix, but like it's so funny, Simone, because we were also talking about when we met and Kinesia was here, like doing retreats. So like over in like Western Arizona, interesting enough, like Salt Lake City, Utah. Yeah, if we kind of are in, you would be in that line there. That would also be something that would be interesting, like an interesting thing for you to do. Your Pluto also, I was saying it's a lot of like regeneration, like a lot of like cycling through things very quickly. So like it could work if you went to like Portland on a retreat or something like that. But I wouldn't recommend like living there if you don't want to like constantly feel like, if it's not comfortable for you to constantly feel like you have to shift. And I feel like as a projector, that could also be kind of exhausting. In areas of the world, right, where like you don't have any planetary lines, like Denver, for example, it's the same for me actually in Denver. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to kind of be neutral territory where it's like, life's what you make it, you know, like whatever you want in those areas, but it may not be like the most exciting place that you've ever been, you know? If you were going, it's interesting because there's also some energy in like, what's also, I forget the city. Yeah, San Angelo is the closest here too. Also, you know, a little bit further outside of San Antonio is your Mercury. But if you were to go to do like a talk or like, oh, in Atlanta. Okay, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see what you have over here. Hold on. Yeah, also, well, closer to your Jupiter line, which I actually like for you too. I wouldn't be surprised if a projector, if we bend the rules a little bit with that, and it's like, because you're so sensitive, it'd be like 2, 4, 6, yeah, 600 kilometers or miles from your Jupiter line. Charlotte actually would be an interesting place for you to go, especially for like brand trips or like brand deals. If you were to do anything like that, that would actually be kind of interesting. And then your Venus and your Jupiter, right, are so close to one another. So that's also like Pittsburgh, if we're up in Ohio near Erie. Toronto also would be really good for like, I don't know, if you end up with a Canadian or something like that. That would be really interesting. Charleston, South Carolina. Where else? We have Orlando, Florida. Miami also would actually be really cool for you too, which is crazy because a lot of people are living down there now. West Palm Beach, Jupiter, Florida. That's funny because that's actually where my grandfather lived. We're like going up the coast here. St. Augustine, Jacksonville, basically all of Florida here. Savannah too. We're looking at Hilton Head. Yeah, a lot of these places. Yeah, it makes so much sense. Like, you just feel like you can live your best life there. Like, I feel like just anywhere running through the Everglades, like, you go down the whole coast. Because it's, like, your Venus, your values, like, where you can kind of, like, it's, like, okay to spend money there, if that makes sense. Or, like comfortable to be, like, see and be seen. It's helpful. Yeah, for you, specifically here, and for us, it's, like, for you, it's more, instead of going to, like, what's it called? East Coast, you can also go further to the left. So if you even go, you know, Tampa, Clearwater, some of the other places, I don't know about up here too. I mean, I'm not even, it's so funny, this has come up so much with like Floribama Shore, but like also just being in Florida, I feel like it is what you make of it everywhere. Yeah, I wanted to live, very fat there, or you wanted to, I don't know what you mean. Or being close to there at least, or living there in some way, shape, or form. Just Mercury retrograde things. Sorry, my ignorance and like not being able to read it. Cuba also, right? Or maybe like liking Cubans. I mean, I'm engaged to a Cuban, so you know my choices and preferences. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay, I love that. Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. Thank you. I'm too white for my own good sometimes. Thank you. Also, Turks and Caicos, I like. Turks and Caicos, ironically, because it helps you. Yeah, right? I know, it's so beautiful. Turks and Caicos would be like, even though you would go there to chill, or most people would, you would also see, like, you would be the person that would want to do, like, a waterfall hike or things along those lines because your Mars runs through there. So it wouldn't necessarily be as chill. You know, for you, I wonder what that means when it comes to that kind of like, what's the split in territory there, which is really interesting. Yeah, so like kind of going in that direction. Haiti as well, we have running through there. Let me see other places that we go a little farther. Puerto Rico too would actually be kind of cool, and the islands, it would feel very like very watery there for you because of Neptune and Uranus. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Caribbean Miss of Guyanese. Okay, yeah. Well, that's so crazy. Yeah, so you're Brazil for you. I mean, Brazil, you have a lot of lines. It's interesting because your Chiron line also runs through Brazil, and your Pluto and your Saturn. So, but I also like your moon, right? That runs through like Guyana, right? So we're also looking at that too. What are some specific places, right? Paramaribo? I mean, I'm saying it in a Spanish accent. I don't know if that's actually accurate, but we're also looking at, you know, some of these. I would be closer to your moon sign. Yeah, I would say more like, Chiron, it could though be very healing. I just wouldn't live there for like 6 years, right? Brazil though, it's interesting. I think of like the Weeknd song, São Paulo. Would also be interesting. Rio de Janeiro though, your Saturn line runs through there. That can be good in terms of like feeling like you were just like really on your on your shit all the time, you know, like you would be able to get a lot of things done, and it would be like very active. You would want to be like going all the places. Definitely important to protect your like projector rest, but like I feel like you would be bouncing around a lot and really being able to enjoy that area of the world. Portugal too, you know, also Ireland. Yeah, my P's and Q's. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Portugal. We also have, yeah, Valencia, which is like a little beach town, which is cute. Barcelona would be good for you for your Venus line. Also, western coast of France. Ireland makes sense because like I'm pretty much all Irish. I love the Dingle Peninsula, it's called, which is like the hand, or in this area. My family's actually from like Galway, which is like as far east almost, you know, or like a major city, and then out in like this region, your Mercury line runs through there, so it makes sense from like even just your astrocartography standpoint, being connected in some way, shape, or form, which I also love to see that. Belgium, we have your Jupiter line, and then oh yeah, okay, Italy a little bit too with your moon. What else do we have? Germany, Nuremberg, Germany. Let's see. What are some? Yeah, Tunisia. We have Mars intersecting with Jupiter here too, which is actually really interesting. Let me see. Yeah, Botswana is interesting because you have your zeniths there. So zeniths are like the most potent spot. A lot of energy here. Yeah, a little bit of a break in like Turkey for you. Oh, the Philippines also for your moon sign. I feel like doing a retreat in the Philippines would also be really cool. Have you ever thought of Japan too, Simone? Like, have you felt the same way about Japan, like, or thought about moving there too? Because you have similar lines that run through Japan. Yeah, Brazil for a short-term stay. I would like get there, do the 6 months, and then see how you feel. If you're, I'm assuming that like you would need a break after that. But everyone experiences the alchemy of their Chiron differently. So it's like, one of my favorite astrologers that I've learned from, Pam Gregory, always said that like astrology and human design and all these maps are like, oh yeah, okay, actually that was what people say, I'd like it. Yeah, that's so funny. I guess like southern Japan, it's like similar to the Brazil energies there. But yeah, I think like, you know, stay in Brazil first and then see. See how you feel after that. Also Australia, but I do prefer the east coast of Australia through Perth specifically, versus the west coast of Australia for you, similar to the same reason. Hi, Resting, welcome. Where else? Oh, Vietnam, Thailand also, which is funny because I just had Thai food today, and your zenith for your Venus is actually in Thailand, as well as your Jupiter. Well, not the zenith for your Jupiter, but you have some really interesting places that run through there in lines. Yeah, Thailand. Have you been yet? Or like, is it on your list of places? I've never been. I would love to go. But I feel like Thailand, yeah. So thank you, Dwadiki. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so like same places. I mean, I feel like now we all have so many. Yeah, okay, perfect. So that makes so much sense. I feel like Thai people, Thai culture, Thai food, like there's a huge like money making, but just really feeling like in your feminine. And it's literally like right, like Bangkok is right there. So you have like a ton of ability to just really like nest, but also I feel like appreciated too, which is a big thing, obviously, for many different reasons. But Sumatra, it's like the different like coffee, a lot of coffee in this area too. I mean, Thai tea is like always so good. I love, like, I almost got it today. I don't know why I didn't. I'll probably go back. I'll probably go back now after this. But yeah, let me see, where are we at on time? Okay, yeah, I went over a little bit, like a minute or two, but I wanted to make sure I got to through the whole world. And then New Zealand also for communication. So yeah, I honestly, yes, drunken noodles. I haven't had drunken noodles. I don't know what I'm doing. But I also would, I would definitely, I feel like you would have an amazing birthday trip in Thailand. Like that would be so cool for you. Let me see. And then who do I have next? Wadiki. Okay. Oh wow, wait. Did it? I feel like my time like jumped or something. Wow, what is time? I didn't realize I was 6 minutes over, Dwadiki. I'm so sorry, but I appreciate that with your patience. But I guess I started late. I didn't even realize that. Let me put in for Dwadiki, and then I have Stephanie. So thank you guys for being patient as we chat here. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited to see all your beautiful content and pictures from Thailand whenever you go. So, okay, yeah. 25, I guess 25 after? I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry about that. Getting lost in the Uranus Gemini transit. Let me see here. Okay, so as we are going down, I'll bring up Twadiki and then Stephanie. And then I'll email you too. Lost in the Sauce is so real. So real. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So where am I going to meet my future spouse, and where is my career going to take off? So let's tap into some of the ways that we can facilitate this for some assistance. I just have to put I have to like put in your birth chart first so that I can go in. So let's look at this. Okay. Yeah. So what was your specific question, Steph? Or Simone, excuse me. Just a general reading. So I was just picking up on whatever I had pulled up at that point. But I always like to look at Venus and the Sun. So Shelby, for astrocartography, I don't think so. I don't think so, because I have my own chart generator now for human design, as of like last year. So I've changed up my routine a little bit, but I always like, if you haven't booked in a while, especially within the last like 6 months, definitely put in your info again. Okay, so Dwadiki. So to start off here, we'll be like pretty much 10 minutes like behind, but it's good because it gives us like clear buffers. So Dwadiki, we're looking at this, and then I want to make sure that I put this here so we can see. Okay. I know, listen, if I had a million hands like an octopus, maybe someday, but yeah, I'll share more about that in the future. Okay, so Dwadiki, for you, right, we're looking at bullseye is where you were born. You've been here for me to talk about the basics, but even just looking at your sunline and your Venus, because you also have your sun and your Venus close like I do. Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, Philippines, Shanghai, China, also southern Japan. I feel like if you were able to like go to some of the beach towns that are in Japan, yes, astrocartography, Shelby, yes. There's also would be like a huge opportunity for you to connect with people, or also meet somebody or be with somebody romantically that's from that culture. So, depending, right, on like it's funny because also the way that it works, so I have Mars that runs through and very close to Cuba, which is where my fiance's from, and he's in Aries Venus, which is ruled by Mars. So it's like interesting to see even like that interplay. It's way easier for me to see because like, you know, your future partner could be like one of 12 Venus signs. So if you had somebody that you were interested in, you could tell me their Venus sign, I would look at like, okay, what's the planetary ruler of said zodiac sign? And then we could kind of bounce around like that. But if we're just talking about like places or spaces that you could go, or people that you may be interested in that would like share the same kind of core values as you and romantically that you would be interested in, like anyone that's of like Japanese background or also like Chinese background, Thai, or anyone from Taiwan, Filipino, again, Indonesia, a little bit of like Malaysia too, would be really interesting. Yes, Shelby. Yes, I may have to open another spot for you. So just give me one moment and I'll do that. Also Australia for you too, Dwadiki. Your zenith though for Indonesia, it's nice too because you have like kind of all your zeniths in a row that aren't very far. But Papua New Guinea also. And then middle of Australia. What are some like towns here? Let's see. Are there towns in the middle of Australia? Is there anyone here? Yeah, Alice Springs. Let's see. Yeah, I also like, does it tell us? Yeah, eastern side of the line. So we're also looking like for you, Gold Coast, Sydney, Adelaide, which I'm not as familiar with, Melbourne, which is also, oh, Tasmania. Okay, that's where that is. I didn't even know where that was too. Okay. New Zealand, what do you have? Neptune there? Yeah, Neptune as well. Let's go to some other places. And then also like the same can still work for career for your sun line and your Venus line. Like the Venus lines are places that we get praise. So we also see like where you can get recognition for a job well done. And I would also look up something that you can also look up is like the founding date for your company that you work for. So like if you kind of look at like a birth chart for like the day your company was founded, if it's possible for you to do that, that's something to like consider or like look into. I don't know. I feel like that would also be like kind of a cool thing to just like focus on if it's like a bigger company, or like a way that you can kind of figure that out for like even if you don't have the time, just like some of the core values of your company. Yeah, Saudi Arabia, also like Iraq. We all have a place of this like kind of chaos, and most of us, it's mostly in Russia or like somewhere north of here for all of us. Yeah, Ethiopia, Tanzania, South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa could also be really cool. Brazil for you as well, which is so funny because we talked about that for Simone. So also looking at Brazil. What do you also have running through? Yeah, New York, you also have your Mars line running through actually. So like out Long Island as well. You would feel energy of that. In Boston, Montreal, like definitely when it comes to action-based praise, or if it's going well for your career, anywhere near like Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec could also be. Oh yeah, I live in Toronto. That's right. Okay. I love that. Because last time, well, when I met you, you were traveling. So that also is like where I was like, okay, what am I thinking about? But your Mercury line is like right there with Toronto. Are you an Aquarius Mercury like me? I don't remember off the top of your head because I know we're a day apart down to the year, but that's amazing. That's amazing. So you're literally so close. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So feeling like you're in flow in that way for like your ideas. Also, yeah, I would also kind of consider Montreal, to kind of expand that. You like for a lot of the US and like this area of the world is pretty open. So again, it is what you make of it. LA, like there isn't necessarily anywhere in the US, but also it's like, who would you meet if you were in New York and you met like, you know, it's the melting pot. Like, so there's so many different people from this area of the world. So it's like taking action on your love life could also provide that kind of like opportunity for you. Yeah, Raleigh in the Carolinas, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. There's also some options for you there too. A little bit of Florida for Jupiter too, closer to like Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami too. Yeah, it brings us like just shy of that 200 miles. And also paying attention to that. I feel like, you know, when it also for like the transits that are happening right now. The transits that are happening right now, there's an opportunity to, because Saturn, what I'm talking about specifically with the transit is Saturn is about to go retrograde out of Aries and then back to the late degrees of Pisces. And obviously we're both Pisces Saturn. So any of my fellow 94 babies or anyone that's like around that time, 1995 and 1996 can also be Saturn return babies too. But we're going to kind of experience like a little bit more of our Saturn return in a way. But we have a lot more of the tools. So I also feel like once Saturn goes direct again and is officially in Aries, which I think is going to happen in September, they'll feel like a little bit more of a lift for you. I also just think that like, you know, making it a priority to know like, instead of taking action just to act, which is also can kind of be like a weird place that our Mercury, like our Saturn ruled Mercury gets us into conundrum sometimes. It's like, make sure that like you're making promises that you can keep at work, which I don't think that you're necessarily somebody who like would do that anyway, but like knowing realistically how much you can like handle and like doing enough to be responsible, but not also like doing so much labor that like you're saying yes to everything, where people can also just kind of like take advantage of you, you know, from like in a work-life kind of balance situation, which is also like what our Saturn return can teach us. So I feel like even after it goes direct, you'll have a little bit more of that clarity for your own sake. Where am I on time? Okay, we have like a minute and change left. So also paying attention to that. And so when it comes to like where am I going to meet my future spouse, I don't do like predictive in that way either. It's not a matter of when, but like what we do with the energies that we know that we have at play here. I will say though that like with our energies too, what your remind me of your rising sign again, Dwadiki. I know we're different rising signs. Taurus rising. Okay. So Scorpio, like when you're really going through, it also like, I don't know, like even a Pluto line I would consider in the DR, Dominican Republic, like when you're going through transformation or kind of allow yourself to lean into, not shying away from when things are challenging, or like also being like a little bit less like stubborn when it comes to your beliefs. Not like you have to compromise drastically, but like there's something about like divine, like feminine, like femme fatale energy that can also be really seductive to somebody that you're trying to attract from like a romantic self-interest or like romantic interest in that sort of way. So I would also tap into that when you're like, maybe go to a Brazilian steakhouse on a date, or like go there like just to enjoy and like kind of just put out the feelers for like energetically saying like, okay, universe, like who you're going to surprise me with when I go to the steakhouse. You know, an Australian restaurant. Australian has like great food, great fashion, you know, Australian culture, and kind of like putting that hat on for things and just, you know, really taking stock of like what you like that's working and what really you have to cut out is like a great thing to kind of focus on with the full moon in Capricorn today. So just really like highlighting that can be something for yourself, can be something that's like really important to pay attention to. So I will leave you with that for now. I'm gonna flip my screen so that I can help beautiful stuff here, and then I think maybe Shelby, and that will Shelby will probably be the one that will carry us home. So let me pull up my chart. But yeah, I think it's just like, without like being able to talk at a like longer about like what's actually kind of like what are the blockages, I've at least given you a couple things to think about that'll be like helpful in that helpful in that regard, with being able to be like, okay, what are some things that I can start to do to feel like a little bit more like I'm a player in the game, and I can actually you know, have more control than I think that I do, in a good like feminine way, you know. Happy belated birthday, Steph. Okay, and I will bring up your human design chart, so we'll see that here. Yeah, absolutely. Do the math for the conversion. Doing that. Okay, hold on, let me count. Okay. So, yeah, oh my God, that's so perfect. Thank you, Dwaniki. I appreciate that. That makes me happy. Aw, that's so great. Thank you. Okay, so Steph's question is, what is currently lighting up my sacral response, and how can I trust it more fully in daily decisions, or anything really important you think I should know right now? So let me bring up your chart so we have it and we can see it on screen. And then we are at 217. It was 21 for Steph. Okay, so when we're talking about like getting connected with your sacral authority and really understanding like what does it actually mean for my sacral to light up, your sacral is a very physiological authority. I also have a sacral authority. So it's like why I move around a lot, like why I'm constantly like clipping back my hair. Like I'm moving a lot of energy as I'm doing something that's exciting to me. So I'm constantly fidgeting like as I'm working because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And so when you are, a couple things that can happen, right? If you have constantly said yes to things, similar to what I said not too long ago, I don't know if you were on for this stuff, but constantly saying yes to people, places, and things that you should have said no to, this is where we can start to feel like numb, frankly, and really not have a good understanding of what it actually is that excites us anymore, because like our nervous system is so burnt out. What I recommend for this, and I actually have a client of mine that just started a YouTube channel, So a great tool is EFT tapping, or it's like EFT is it's like T is tapping, but you will like tap different points at the body and be like, whatever you feel like you need. Like, I feel safe in my body. I'm confident, there's like different areas that you tap, and it will help you to get in tune with what your body is telling you, and it creates a new neural pathway when you do that. There's like specific points that you do in tapping. When I send you the email with the recording, I'll send you Lucy's YouTube channel, because you could do just like free videos. They're like 5 to 10 minutes long. She makes them really simple, and I really like her energy. She's a Sagittarius sun, so she'll be good complimentary with your birthday. But all that to say, right? It's like when you are a generator, especially like a pure generator versus a manifesting generator, it takes you a little bit of extra time to like pivot. So it's like kind of like you've stepped on the brakes, but like your brake pads are really worn out. So instead of it stopping automatically, your car is like coming to like a screeching halt a little bit. That's how it feels when you've like constantly ignored your sacral. And so there's nothing wrong with you. It's literally like the world was not meant for us like only prioritizing, we should be prioritizing our sacral authority, but the world doesn't always give us the opportunity to do so. It's kind of up to us to like fight the current and to prioritize that. And it's, the more you do it, I always say the cycle time gets quicker. So allowing yourself to just be like, okay, I know this about myself. I give myself a lot of like grace for knowing that I did the best that I could in the time that I had, for who I was at the time, and the knowledge that I had and the people that were around me. Like, that comes first. And so also like things that when it comes to like root chakra and your gut, like kind of like shaking, stretching, doing things to make sure that your hips aren't super tight can also be like the energetic somatic connection of like making sure that like, I almost did like crisscross applesauce in my chair. I'll have like one leg folded, so like I have that like openness to my sacral when I'm reading. Like those, really paying attention to what your body's doing. Are you crossing your arms a lot? Like, not just because you're cold, but like, are you like constantly feeling like you have to protect your sacral? Like, just being aware of your body. It's literally like the body keeping score that we're paying attention to. So after you kind of are working through like EFT tapping, like nervous system regulation, feeling safe, which is also challenging in a world that like feels like it's constantly throwing curveballs at us right now. It's like, okay, well, let me start to tap into how I understand what lights up my sacral. So if you have somebody that you know, like, and trust, that you can have them ask you questions, that's going to be a way that you can tap into what makes your sacral light up. So having somebody present to you A or B, black and white, yes or no options will give you more data to respond to and say, okay, like there's actually like a little bit of an inkling there. So instead of like I was taught, like, what makes you sit up taller in your chair, and you're like, oh wait, like that seems really interesting. Like, I want to go down that rabbit hole. Or like, okay, I got recognition in that way. That feels really good for me to receive praise and recognition that way, which is helpful for your 4/6 profile. Because you're meant to be like, you have a lot of Leo too. But Leo in gate 4 in human design, it's your Venus and your Mars, where also not breaking promises to yourself is big for you. It's like, but it's giving like, I always say like Leo teaches us where we're allowed to take up space. So if you feel like you've been stifled a lot by other people, or like the passion has gotten the best of you, it's like healthily arrogant professor. Arrogant isn't the word, a confident professor that like knows like who is at the level for them to like talk about their subject matter with. It's like more like, Leo placements that have more of like like obvious regal quality and like a scholastic way. So we're also noticing that. I think like, when you say like, and how can I trust it more fully in daily decisions? It's like, start with the small stuff. Like the simplest things. Like, do I want to have coffee or tea first? And like, just let it be coffee or tea. Don't be like, well, I have to eat something if I have coffee and I don't really have the tea that I like, but I could drink that tea instead. That's where, yeah, it's your Mars and your, yeah, exactly. Hi, Noel. Exactly. Wait, let me go. Okay. Yes. Because you're like not the traditional Leo, it's like, it's giving you a little bit of like that different kind of like unique energy. Hello. Yes, exactly. You're like, you rang. the herbal remedy, the lemon balm to my soul. My Noelle's a beautiful Leo rising stuff. So she was on with me later last night. And we were chatting and doing some readings for people together. But yeah, anything really important also. So you also do have this gate where you have like melancholic tendencies. So you will go through phases where things just do kind of feel lackluster, but those are the times where you really want to lean into like knowing that you need to go into like deep self-preservation and self-care, and even more so just kind of go like ghost for a while and allow yourself to recover and to recuperate, like not letting yourself feel like, oh, it's the summer, like I feel like I should go out. It's like, no, like if you need to rest in the air conditioning, yeah, okay, perfect. I love that. Oh, so it's like you're mine tonight. Oh yeah, there you go. No, you're fine. We can text and we'll plan a FaceTime. We'll do another live. That's what Manny was saying to me too. It's so funny how similar. But yeah, Steph, you also have a channel of judgment. So like it is good for you to be judgmental and judgy because you teach us how to hold ourselves to a certain standard. This is something that I say all the time. And it's a personal mantra that I've lived by since high school, is that I have high standards, but low expectations. When we have high expectations, it doesn't mean that we have to lower our standards, but our propensity for being disappointed by other people is what can cause like disappointment. And we should never do something also like based on how we think someone else is going to respond to what we do. Like if you want to be a spiritual entrepreneur and say do readings on TikTok live, you should just start doing them because you are excited for them, or you're excited to do them. But if you tell other people that like don't really get it and they're not really aware of it, like that can kind of pop your fun balloon, right? And then you're like, oh, well, I might as well not even try. When it's more so like you should start to even just try a little bit of the things that feel fun for you. And then that's what like breeds more excitement in a bigger room, right? It's literally like how I built my business on those philosophies. So paying attention to that. Yeah, well, if you would activate, yes, thank you so much. I'm nearing the end here. Yeah, 1000%. I think I do that, but I always feel bad for others. Blah. Yeah, self-pleasing tendencies, and that takes time. Like, yeah, I know, totally resonates. That makes sense. I feel for you. There's a good like litmus test, and I said this. It's like you'll carry us home because I was saying this at the top of the hour. Is that we have what's called our signature and our not self theme in human design. And so our signature is known as satisfaction when we're generators or manifesting generators, but our not self is how we know that we're out of alignment. So when we're noticing anywhere that we feel frustration, and I say this all the time, I've been studying this and practicing my human design experiment for 10 years. I still feel frustration every single day at some point. And what happens is now, because I'm aware of it and I know what it's teaching me, I don't let myself feel guilty about feeling frustrated or angry. Anger is like when we know that we've gone too far. I think like depression, seasonal depression can also be something for you to look out for, is maybe like how deep frustration and turning away from yourself and what you need can also be, make you more aware of. But it's like really asking yourself, like, okay, why am I frustrated? What is this telling me I'm supposed to pivot towards? What would actually make me feel satisfied in this moment? And then you say, okay, I need to feel satisfied. Am I feeling satisfied or frustrated? I feel satisfied. Okay, great, right? Like maybe I don't need to change anything, or what can make this better? Is it going to be, if I am at a resort and I'm on vacation and I'm feeling satisfied and enjoying that, is it that I'm going to feel, I don't know, what was I going to say? Like, more satisfied if I lay by the beach or go up to my room and take a nap in my suite, or whatever it is. Like, you can always find a way to make it better if you want to, or if you're like, I feel satisfied, like I feel good, like I don't really need more or less or anything in between. If you're feeling frustrated, it's an opportunity for you to be like, okay, am I feeling like I just need a break, or do I need a nap, or do I need to like quit this thing? I also highly recommend, even if you are on any kind of like BC, like hormonal, regulator, I'll say, because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say with those vocabulary words on TikTok or YouTube over here. But there's a book that I love called Woman Code. And for anybody who has a period, it will teach you what your energetic levels are and tracking your cycle, so you know how you're gonna feel. Basically, we all feel as women like a different person each of the weeks of the year. So like it being in your luteal phase is like I'm in my luteal now, so I always am allowing myself more time to nap during my luteal. But if I'm in my follicular phase, which is right after we finish a cycle, I feel more energized and alive, and I'm like, okay, like this is how I know like what my hormonal cycles are. Even if you aren't somebody that has a period, say, like you can still kind of start to just take note, of different things, like what sign the moon is in. Like we live in a life that is full of cycles. But like as people, who are going through that, or women who are going through that too, like we have more obvious cycles that we pay attention to. So just being aware of like the cycle of your life. I say for generators like yourself, it's like, this is the summertime, like allow yourself to have fun and allow yourself to enjoy it, and just see what kind of comes up for you. Kind of like, what are the bucket list things that you want to do for like your summer bucket list? And then, letting fall be fall and winter be winter, can also be really helpful and cathartic for not feeling like, time is ever lost on you, or that like, getting yourself worked up into that anxious lather. It's like not overruling your sacral authority or your gut instinct with your logical mind is also going to be something that is, really like not to be lost on you in like the most basic of ways, in helping you to tap into your design, fully. So I will leave you with that, at least for now. I give you a little couple minutes because I felt bad that I went over for your time, and I appreciate you being so kind and patient as I did so. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So it's Woman Code. I think it's plural, like women code or women code, and the author's name is Alyssa Vitti, Aliss. Vitti is her last name. And you can get it like on any, like what I think I bought mine on Amazon like over 10 years ago. I think it's page 156. I did like a book club with this book. Like it's so helpful. But there's one page that will tell you exactly like, this is a good time to, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I love little Saturn emoji. Thank you. But yeah, so if you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. I will be back on next Wednesday, at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, same place, as well as next Thursday. That'll be I think it'll be in Mercury retrograde territory at that time. Yeah, Thursday will be the start of Mercury retrograde. Wednesday will be in the day before, so we'll see how that one takes us. I'll be extra careful to dot my I's and cross my T's and look over here. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate all of you and letting me read for you. And I will see you next week. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Allow yourselves to rest if you